This page is the front cover of Dreamcast Magazine, issue number 1 from Volume 1 in 2001, dated January 5th to 12th, and priced at 480 yen. The main feature is Phantasy Star Online, prominently displayed with artwork from the game. The cover also highlights several other Dreamcast titles including Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning, Detective Spirit Dash, Biohazard Code, Veronica Complete Edition, Resident Evil Code, Veronica, Eldorado Gate Volume 3 Card Captor Sakura, 100 Swords, Metropolis Street Racer, and Eve Zero. Featured articles inside the magazine include Sakura Wars 3, Detective Spirit Dash, Resident Evil Code, Veronica, Eldorado Gate, and 100 Swords. There is also mention of Metropolis Street Racer and Eve Zero. The magazine is advertising a special present of limited edition pins and also promoting the Dreamcast Magazine Grand Prix Eve Festival. Other games briefly mentioned are J-League Pro Soccer Club, Sega Rally 2, Daytona USA 2001, Burning Justice School, Last Blade 2 Final Edition, Gunspike, and Baiku. The cover also promotes a reader ranking for all Dreamcast titles and a feature on Sega Hard in the 20th century. This page is the contents page for the magazine, and it outlines the articles featured in this issue. It highlights the Phantasy Star Online special feature, which includes an express report from an Osaka event. There's a mention of a year-end and New Year special gift event, offering rare items for Dreamcast owners. The magazine is also running its second Dreamcast magazine, Grand Prix 2000, focusing on the best game of the 20th century. It also includes the fourth part of the Welcome to the 21st Century project, this time with a pin badge set, and this is the final call for the telephone card and pin set applicant service. The magazine features a regular segment called Dream Maga YY, which is exploring 20th century Sega hardware in its 64th installment, summarizing Sega's consoles from that era. A Dreamcast special report is promised, packed with new and anticipated titles. Game-specific articles include Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning, Detective Spirit Dash, Eldorado Gate Volume 3, Biohazard Code, Veronica Complete Edition, Resident Evil Code, Veronica, 100 Swords, Metropolis Street Racer, and Eve Zero Complete Edition Arc of the Matter. There is also a Sakura Wars Kinematron Flower Troop mail section, and Card Captor Sakura, Tomoyo's Video Operation, which seems to be video content. Finally, at the bottom, there's an explanation of icons used throughout the magazine, detailing features like VGA support, data downloads, and network compatibility. This page continues the contents listing for the magazine, highlighting new Dreamcast game information and complete game guides. For new game info, it mentions Power Jet Racing 2001, Jet Set Radio, UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship, GigaWing 2, and Tech Romancer for matching service, which is for online play. The complete game guide section covers Sakatsuku Special Edition, J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru, Guilty Gear X, Gunspike, Project Justice, Last Blade 2 Final Edition, Super Street Fighter 2X for matching service for online play, Daytona USA 2001, Samba de Amigo Ver 2000, the Japan-only title Blue Submarine No. 6, Time and Tide, and another Japan-only game, Tricolor Crisis. Finally, there is a section called Sakigake, Naomi Juku Kraken DJ, which seems to be about the Naomi arcade game, Kraken DJ. Dreamcast news is highlighted with a major announcement. Phantasy Star Online now fully supports broadband adapters for enhanced online play. The Dreamcast Easy Registration campaign begins December 21st in Tokyo and Osaka to simplify internet setup for new users. Pre-ordering Fighting Vipers 2 via D-Direct offers Shenmue 2 footage. Additional news includes Gmode, a mobile game site launching in January, Dream Passport for PC, WonderSwan color updates, and Sega AM facilities in Las Vegas. The article also mentions Rally Team Sukuro mode in Sega Rally Championship 2, Comic Market 59, and Tufu Racer with live-action footage. Fighting Vipers 2 events are planned for early January 2001 across multiple cities. Finally, there's news from iSize.com and On TV Japan. This page is packed with event and game news. Tokyo Joyfopolis is hosting Dream Flying Live for Christmas, Countdown, and New Year's, featuring snow ferry performances. Namja Town is having an all-night party for the New Year period, with 20th century quizzes and musical shows. There's a Look at Sega campaign, where answering a quiz can win a trip to Las Vegas, part of the Sega Festa 2001 event at Sega AM facilities. Prizes also include DVD players and Fukuoka Joyopolis tickets, with results announced late January to mid-February 2001. For mobile gamers, a new game site is launching in January alongside the 503i phone series release. It's a subscription service where you can play 3 minigames for 100 yen a month. Titles mentioned are Hyankyo Alien, Digital Partner, Card Game Tower Off, Mini Tetris, and Puzzle Sokoban. There's also a multiplayer battle game site for Grooven Tetris, called Taikisen Gweru Jampu. In the GameSpot news section, it's highlighted that the PlayStation 2 market is maturing with big titles, and developers are gearing up for competition. Key news includes a wallpaper download corner, featuring Varchiran and Tante Jinguji designs. The Wonder Swan color is a hit, with 300,000 units shipped. The PlayStation 2 party event is mentioned, announcing that Toro is coming to PS2 in 2001. Sega and Namco are collaborating in logistics for their AM businesses. Finally, a new Tower of Druaga game is coming to Game Boy, set a century after the original. This page features several news snippets. Dream Passport for PC has reached 800,000 users, and a product version 2.0 is being released that supports Dream Call internet phone service. In hardware news, the Wonder Swan color is proving popular, shipping 300,000 units, including a Final Fantasy-themed version. Queues at stores were long for its debut. The website, csagame.com, is running a Christmas and New Year campaign. It's an internet site rally game, where you find hidden icons and keywords on the site to win game software and merchandise prizes. For iMode mobile users, Sega is launching a new service called Sukuru Rally Team, letting players raise a rally team and compete in races, even against others online. It's initially free until January 14th, then becomes a paid service. Finally, regarding AM facilities, the Downtown DX information box at Tokyo JP, where people can report celebrity sightings, has been extended due to its popularity until the end of March 2001. Dreamcast Magazine highlights upcoming events and giveaways. Winter Comic-Con 59 in Tokyo, with booths by F&C, Alchemist, and SoftBank Publishing, offers a free poster to attendees with the magazine. The Drima Recommended Events section lists online and in-person events like Jump Festa 2001. Giveaways include a Beku Ame BI radio, Dyna Kong phone straps, and Club Beat Freak visors. Movie information focuses on the live-action Tomb Raider adaptation, starring Angelina Jolie, and based on Tomb Raider V: Chronicles. The game releases in January 2001. Finally, the online DC Catalog 2001 provides information on 254 Dreamcast titles. This page is an advertisement for Macross M3, which is announced as the first Dreamcast game in the Macross series. It emphasizes the involvement of original Macross creators Shoji Kawamori, Haruhiko Mikimoto, and Ichiro Itano. The game is set to be released in February 2001 for 6,800 yen. A first limited lucky card campaign is detailed, offering prizes such as a pre-painted VF-1S Valkyrie model, a Yamato VF-11B Thunderbolt transforming toy, Hasegawa model kits of VF-1 Valkyrie variants, and a Macross M3 sound file mini soundtrack CD, scheduled for release on February 21, 2001. The advertisement showcases gameplay screenshots featuring transforming mecha, and also provides the official game website address. The Dreamcast Data Station's top 10 bestsellers are revealed. Project Justice, a tag team fighting game, takes the top spot due to popular characters and online play. Virtua Tennis, with its network play and immersion, follows at number 2. Quiz Ah! My Goddess, Fighting Wings, an adventure quiz game, secures 3rd place. In 4th is Blue Submarine number 6, Time and Tide, an adventure game based on the anime. Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, an adventure title, ranks 5th. Sex. Capcom vs. SNK, Millennium Fight 2000 is in 6th, featuring a unique color edit option. 7th belongs to the Japan-exclusive racing sim Mercurius Pretty. Eldorado Gate Volume 1, an RPG, is 8th. Charge and Blast, a shooting game, takes 9th. Lastly, Skies of Arcadia, a large-scale RPG, rounds out the list at 10th. The Dreamcast Magazine Reader's Choice Anticipated Title Ranking reveals the top 30 most anticipated games. Topping the list is Sega's adventure title, Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning, with 538 points. In second place is Shenmue 2, 392 points, and third is Sonic Adventure 2, 357 points, both by Sega. The list continues with Fighting Vipers 2, Super Robot Wars Alpha, and Sega. Other titles on the list include EVE Zero, Biohazard Code, Veronica, and Echo the Dolphin. Additionally, the weekly pickup section features Nepachi the Six at VPACHI, a pachinko simulation game, and MSR Metropolis Street Racer, a racing game set in realistic city environments, is highlighted with a release date. Sega is also highlighted for its popularity, and Rhapsody of Zephyr is mentioned, encouraging fans to visit its website. This page presents 2 game rankings and a weekly pickup section. The first ranking is the Reader's Choice Anticipated Title Ranking Top 20, showing games that readers want ported to the Dreamcast. Number 1 is Air for PC, followed by Knights for Saturn, and the Shining Force series also for Sega Saturn. Grandia and Machi, Street, are also in the top 5. The second ranking is the Video Game Income Ranking Top 15, which lists the top-earning video games. Derby Owners Club 2000 is at the top, followed by Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Guilty Gear X. Virtua Striker 2 Ver.2000 and Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000 are also in the top 5. The weekly pickup section highlights Samba de Amigo Ver 2000, a rhythm action game coming soon to Dreamcast, emphasizing new songs and modes alongside the simultaneous Dreamcast release. The other highlighted game is Cyber Troopers Virtual on Oratorio Tangram Ver 5.66, a 3D fighting action shooting game which is in 6th place. This section mentions location testing for the Force mode, team play, and hints at more details in the New Year's Day issue. Screenshots from both Samba de Amigo and Virtual F&On are displayed. This Dreamcast release schedule covers software and hardware from December 2000 to April 2001 and beyond. The software section details numerous games with release dates, manufacturers, prices, genres, and compatibility information. December 2000 saw titles like Aerodancing F, Tricolor, and Cardcaptor Sakura, Tomoyo's Video Great Strategy. January 2001 includes De La Jet Set Radio and Giga Wing 2. February brought the Jigsaw Puzzle and Metropolis Street Racer. March featured Biohazard Code, Veronica Complete Edition, and EVE Zero Complete Arc of the Matter. April included Close to Prayers Hill and Ready 2 Rumble Boxing Round 2. Games with undecided release dates are also listed. Hardware releases included the Sakura Wars controller and Sakura Wars Dreamcast Internet, and the Zip Drive, temporary. This page presents the Dreamcast Reader's Ranking, with Soul Calibur at number 1, followed by Resident Evil Code, Veronica, and Kudelka. Other highly ranked games include Skies of Arcadia, Virtua Tennis, Grandia 2, Crazy Taxi, and Kanon. Featured on the page is a review of the new fighting game, Project Justice, also known as Moero Justice Gakuen. The review is positive, highlighting the exciting gameplay, impressive graphics, and accessible controls for beginners, while still offering depth for experienced players. The game received a high overall score from readers, with an average of 8.1257. Readers praise its hot-blooded fighting style and strategic elements, although some find the board game aspects slightly less engaging. Finally, the page introduces the Dreamcast mouse as a peripheral. Reader feedback suggests it has limited use, mainly for applications like Dream Passport 3 and some PC-style games, but it isn't widely supported by the Dreamcast game library. This page ranks Dreamcast games from 31st to 96th, with notable titles like NBA 2K, Shenmue, and Jet Set Radio. It also spotlights upcoming games. Power Smash, a realistic tennis game, is praised for its controls and depth. Multilancer Rebirth is a racing simulation with a focus on story and charming characters, suitable for fantasy fans. Sega is a unique Sega-themed simulation game with a Tetris-like block stacking mechanic. LOL, Lack of Love is a thought-provoking RPG with unique gameplay, challenging players. Finally, Quiz, Oh My Goddess, is criticized for its awkward visual presentation and frequent load times, resulting in a disappointing experience. This page focuses on the Dreamcast game Tricolore Crisis, presenting it as a title you won't regret buying. It's described as an RPG, where you search for magical eggs, following the adventures of girls. The game lets you enjoy both adventure and personal life aspects. Tomoko Watanabe, the writer, highlights it as a heartwarming RPG, where you can hear Welcome Home daily. The manufacturer's message emphasizes it as a standard RPG, with a system designed for repeated play, and encourages players to enjoy its relaxing gameplay. Reader comments praise the game's atmosphere and easy-to-understand synthesis system. One comment mentions the fun of raising characters and the rewarding level progression system. The insider information section reveals that events for sub-characters trigger based on conditions like meeting them in town, and that players will need to explore various locations to find these characters and their hangouts. The right side of the page is a ranking of Dreamcast software from 97th to 162nd place. It lists titles, genres, and average vote scores. This page continues the Dreamcast software rankings. It presents rankings from 163 to 255, categorized into sections D and E, and also highlights software that is soon to be ranked. The rankings seem to be based on reader votes, and include genres and average scores. There's a commentary section discussing trends in the rankings, noting the game LOL as potentially moving up to a higher rank, and mentioning a new queen dominating the lower ranks. The page also teases upcoming software, and specifically mentions the network play aspect of Phantasy Star Online. Finally, there's a section showcasing recently released games that are about to be included in the rankings. The page ends with a comment expressing excitement about a recent Dreamcast Magazine demo festival, and high hopes for the magazine in the 21st century. This page spotlights recent and upcoming Dreamcast games. Highlights include Guilty Gear X, a challenging fighting game with impressive 2D graphics; Time and Tide, an adventure game featuring underwater exploration and treasure hunting; and Samba de Amigo Variant 2000, a rhythm game with new songs and an enhanced maraca experience. Dejiko no Maibura, a browser with character integration, is also featured. The page also contains a Dreamcast peripherals ranking, reader comments discussing various topics like game preferences and frustrations with limited editions, and a reader poll. Readers are encouraged to submit game predictions and reviews for prizes. A dream prediction game focused on Daytona USA 2001 is also present. The page concludes with promotion of Dreamcast accessories and announcement of previous prize draw winners. This Dreamcast game review section showcases a variety of titles. Cardcaptor Sakura, Tomoyo's Video Great Battle, a virtual photo shooting game, received mixed reviews, 6/10, with praise for its unique concept and fan service, despite visual limitations. Sakura Wars, Kinematron Hanagumi Mail, a mail software, earned unanimous approval, praised for its fun, interactive communication features using stylized messages and stamps. Other December Dreamcast titles briefly mentioned include the popular American football game, NFL 2K, the rhythm-based Space Channel 5, the fighting game, The King of Fighters Dream Match 1999, the snowboarding title, Cool Borders Burn, and the combat flight simulator, Aero Dancing F. Dream Navigator Investigation Team revisits Sega's console history, spanning from the 1980s to the Dreamcast. The article traces the evolution of Sega hardware, beginning with the SG-1000, 1983, then moves through the Mark II-I, 1985, the Master System, 1987, the Mega Drive Genesis, 1988, the Saturn, 1994, and concluding with the Dreamcast, 1998. Each console is highlighted for its technological advancements, like improved graphics and FM sound. The Dreamcast is presented as a pioneer in online gaming, with standard modem capabilities. The feature also highlights the evolution of related magazines, reflecting the ongoing Sega presence in gaming. This page explores the history of Sega's hardware, focusing on the company's ambition to compete with Nintendo's Famicom. Interviews with Sega developers Matsubara and Hamada reveal the design philosophies, including the decision to use the Motorola 68000 CPU in the Mega Drive for superior graphics and sound, and the importance of features like a pause button. The page then presents a flashback Sega series. The SG-1000 and SG-1002 are showcased as early attempts to rival the Famicom. The SC-3000, offering personal computer capabilities, is also mentioned. The Mark II Master System and its FM sound are highlighted, alongside key titles like Phantasy Star. Finally, the Mega Drive, a 16-bit powerhouse, is featured, with details on its impressive sales and game library. This provides a good overview of Sega's console evolution. This page reviews Sega hardware history, starting with the TerraDrive, a Mega Drive/PC hybrid. While innovative with its twin CPUs, the setup wasn't fully utilized in Mega Drive games. The Sega Saturn, intended as the ultimate 2D console, was a success in Japan, selling 5 million units, driven by titles like Virtua Fighter, which helped spark a 3D CG boom. The Saturn excelled at 2D games and offered RAM expansion. It was released in November 1994 and had 985 titles. Next is the Dreamcast, the first console with standard modem equipment. Marketed as the dawn of network gaming, it featured Dreamcast Online. Virtua Fighter 2 was its only million-selling title. The Dreamcast launched in November 1998 with 274 titles. The page concludes by reflecting on Sega's rapid console releases and the upcoming competition from Nintendo GameCube and Xbox, questioning the Dreamcast's future. This page discusses a charity auction hosted by Sega AM, Segam.com, in late 2000. The website, which was last updated on December 14, 2000, primarily targeted industry professionals for selling business-use game machines and prizes. However, a charity auction was launched from December 22 to January 8 for general users, offering rare Sega AM items. The website featured general user pages with information on AM machines, Sega profiles, and prize details. The auction, conceived to give back to fans, included items like creator goods and game tickets. Mr. Sugano of Sega e-commerce promotion hopes the auction will revitalize the AM industry and inspire collaboration among manufacturers. The auction featured approximately 60 items in 2 installments. Screenshots of the website and Mr. Sugano are included. Sega AM companies are hosting a charity auction featuring rare items. WoW Entertainment offers a chance to play their sports game, Sports Jam, against developers. AM2 presents F355 Challenge 2 memorabilia, including signed items. Hitmaker showcases virtual on goods, like setting documents and model kits signed by key staff. Sega Rosso introduces NASCAR arcade items and a chance to compete against their staff. The Sega Mechatronics Research and AM Marketing Department offers items related to metal games like Kraken DJ, including lessons and rare goods. Auction items span multiple Sega games, including Dynamite Decca, Giant Graham 2000, Last Bronx, and Daytona USA 2 Battle on the Edge, ranging from clothing and posters to signed merchandise and game-related materials. The page includes schedules for the auction's first and second terms. This page promotes special Dreamcast telephone cards as part of the 21st Century Dreamcast Carnival, advertised as the last chance for 20th century responders to get these. Card set 1 is Sonic Adventure, featuring Sonic and Tails with a Dreamcast logo, with quotes about not looking back and choosing his own way. Card set 2 is Space Channel 5, showcasing Ulala and inviting viewers to Welcome to Space Channel 5 with a website address. Card set 3 is Eternal Arcadia, Skies of Arcadia, presenting Vice and Ica and highlighting them as popular game characters embodying the sun and moon. Card set 4 is Shenmue 2, keeping it top secret and stating that this rare illustration is a telecard first and only buyers get to see it, emphasizing its rarity and featuring unseen visuals. Card set 5 is Senko Senki Versailon Oratorio Tangram, virtual on Oratorio Tangram. Again, top secret, promoting a super cool droid illustration by Yuichi Onishi for a telecard, declaring that 21st Century Virtual On is indestructible. Card set 6 is Sega No Game wa Sekai Ichi 2, Samsung Yoshio. Sega games are the best in the world. Samsung Yoshio, marking a new century style and featuring a unique character style. Card set 7 is Iroiro Desu Gu, Various Goods, by Takemoto Izumi, depicting 2 girls and a cat, noting it as the end of the 20th century with 2 people and 1 cat, and mentioning it comes with lovely Nyun daughter pins as a commemorative item. This page continues the 21st Century Dreamcast Carnival, Campaign by advertising more Dreamcast Teleca and pin sets. Set 8 is Guru Guru Creature by Uesugi Sumiko, featuring a Christmas theme with Guru Guru Santa and plump Zoki-chan pins. Set 9 is DC Game Tiger's Hole by Kuko Kanamura, featuring familiar characters and another set of pins, emphasizing the abundance of pins. Set 10 is Digilog Channel by Utsuki Baruno, introducing a new boy character and highlighting these super cute pins as a must-have set. Set 11 is Game Review by Dreamaga Dora-chan, with a Dreamcast game screenshot and text about Dora-chan's dreams still being about game controllers, possibly related to game reviews. Below are application details and important notes for those wishing to apply for these sets. To the right, there is information about the telephone card and pins set dispatch, explaining delivery schedules and contact details for inquiries. This page showcases the year-end and New Year Dreamcast Mega Present campaign, offering Dreamcast hardware and accessories as prizes. Item 1 is a 1-year subscription to Dreamcast Magazine. Item 2 is a highly sought-after limited edition Super Black Dreamcast console and controller, described as a rare item that's hard to obtain now. Item 3 is a set featuring a black Dreamcast keyboard and a visual memory unit, perfect for online gaming such as PSO, Phantasy Star Online. Item 4 is a Sakura Wars themed Dreamcast bundle for internet use, including a pink Dreamcast console, controller, and VMU, along with a new product called Kinetrometer Hanagumi Mail. It highlights the rarity of this Sakura Wars edition, suggesting it's not typically available in stores. Item 5 is a Sakura Wars version of the Dreamcast controller, featuring a unique design and tied to the initial limited editions of Sakura Wars 1 and 2. Item 6 is a Dream Eye set, enabling video calls and video mail, presented as a set of 2 for friends to connect and communicate. Item 7 features a set of 3 pearl-colored Dreamcast controllers in pearl blue, pearl white, and pearl pink, useful for multiplayer gaming with color-coded connectors. The next page continues the Year-End and New Year Dreamcast Mega Present campaign, showcasing more Dreamcast prizes. Item 8 offers a set of 3 pearl-color visual memory units, featuring the sought-after pearl blue color alongside pearl white and pearl pink, highlighting their popularity and collectability. Item 9 is an overseas Dreamcast set, enabling players to enjoy import games. This set includes a Dreamcast console, controllers, and likely games designed for playing titles from different regions. Item 10 presents the Biohazard Model Dreamcast, a clear version console and controller, described as a rare item released to commemorate Biohazard, Code Veronica, Resident Evil Code Veronica. Item 11 features the ASC2-Pad FT Special Capcom version set. This bundle includes a Capcom-themed ASC2-Pad FT controller, a Capcom visual memory unit, and a set of 3 Capcom games exclusive to D-Direct. The games in the set are described as popular Capcom titles and likely includes Vampire Chronicle for Matching Service and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Item 12 offers a silver metallic Dreamcast controller, emphasized for its stylish design. Finally, Item 13 is a DigiCharit web money card, valued at 2,000 yen, aimed at fans of the Digi-i-Charit anime series. The page also includes application details explaining how to enter the giveaway by filling out a postcard with personal information and prize preferences, with a deadline of January 26, 2001. Overseas DC Circumstances reviews the Dreamcast game Namco Museum, a compilation of 6 classic Namco arcade games: Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Galaxian, Pole Position, and Dig Dug Day. The game aims to replicate the arcade experience with near-identical settings to the originals and supports features like VMU compatibility, including a Pac-Man minigame. Released in Japan in July 2000, the game is rated for everyone and compatible with various peripherals. Each game is briefly described, highlighting their gameplay styles. A tips section offers advice for Galaxian, explaining the pause in enemy attacks after defeating a yellow Galaxian. The review underscores the game's faithful recreation of arcade classics and additional features. This page introduces Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness for Dreamcast, an action puzzle game from Namco. It was advertised as an unreleased title at the time, scheduled for release on November 15, 2000, priced at $29.99, or approximately 3,050 yen. The game supports 1 to 4 players and is jump pack compatible. The article describes the gameplay as navigating 3D mazes filled with traps and puzzles as Ms. Pac-Man, with a goal to reach the end of each stage. Players use switches, springs, and blocks to progress. The game retains the power pellet concept but emphasizes puzzle solving more than traditional Pac-Man gameplay. The game features an original movie introduction and boasts enhanced graphics on the Dreamcast. A highlight is the 4-player battle mode offering different rule sets. Mania focuses on eating pellets. Ghost Tag is a chase mode, and DA Bomb involves bomb battles. An interview section with Namco explains that Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man were chosen for release due to their strong overseas popularity. Future series releases and Japanese release plans are currently undecided. Reviewer TESU praises the game's light puzzle elements and smooth Ms. Pac-Man controls, also appreciating the arranged music in the title screen. This page is an advertisement for the romance-adventure game Never 7: The End of Infinity on Dreamcast. The game is described as a romance-adventure and is now on sale. The image shows 5 anime-style female characters, and the text highlights the phrase, "Beyond Endless Time," and the standard price of 6,800 yen, excluding tax. This page is all about the Sakura Wars dramatic card game for Dreamcast, which is announced as a card game adaptation of the popular Sakura Wars series. It's described as a dramatic card game where you can enjoy playing games set in the Imperial Theater with the Flower Division. The page highlights character cards and show cards, showing examples of both. Character cards feature Sakura Shinguji and other characters, with trust level and attack power stats. Show cards feature scenes from the Sakura Wars world. The page also mentions the Sakura Wars 3 opening movie, stating that the beautiful opening movie of Sakura Wars 3 is included on a movie disc as a first-time purchase bonus for the Kinematron Flower Division mail software. There is a section on Sakura Wars 3 wallpaper download service, announcing wallpaper downloads for PCs featuring the Flower Division in casual and battleware through the GameSpot website as part of the Kinematron service. Finally, it introduces the Kinematron Flower Division mail service as the last Sakura Wars project of the 20th century, emphasizing its features like beautiful stationery and stamps to be used for emails sent within the Flower Division mail system. Sakura Wars 3 is Paris Burning blends 3D and 2D graphics for a cinematic experience set in Paris, where the Flower Division protects the city. Players assume the role of Ogami Ichiro, captain of the Paris Flower Division. The game's opening movie, created by Production IG with music by Kohei Tanaka and featuring the theme song Imperial Capital Under the Royal Flag, is highly praised. A bonus movie is included with the initial release of Kinematron Flower Division Mail, available for those who reserve the product. This bonus movie can be viewed via the Kinematron interface. Additionally, a pink Sakura Wars Dreamcast for Internet console includes Kinematron Mail for exchanging messages and receiving exclusive content. The game introduces characters like the energetic Erica Fontaine and the noble Glycine Bloomer, with screenshots highlighting their personalities and scenes from the opening. This page showcases Sakura Wars 3 is Paris Burning, emphasizing the France specification light martial god F dances. The article highlights the Kubu F mecha, stating it is a refined version built for the streets of Paris, emphasizing its mobility and agility for urban combat, making it appear as if it is dancing. The page introduces 3 characters. Kitaji Hanabi, a refined and graceful woman from a distinguished family in Paris who is skilled in archery and uses a bowgun in combat. Lobelia Carlini, a cold and ruthless terrorist who has committed numerous crimes across France. She is described as a mysterious figure who has joined the Paris Flower Division for unknown reasons. Finally, Kokurliko, a cheerful and energetic girl from Vietnam who works in the circus and loves animals, using her connections with animals to assist in her work. The text also refers back to previous reports in the magazine, mentioning Cyberclub event coverage and special articles related to Sakura Wars 3, indicating ongoing and in-depth coverage of the game within the publication. This page features Sakura Wars 3 is Paris Burning and announces the grand opening movie release, praising its quality. The page details Erica's main weapon, the cross-shaped machine gun, emphasizing its power and how it fits the Paris setting for combat, contrasting it with battles in Japan. The article highlights the visual spectacle of the opening movie, focusing on the red colors and detailed CG building representations. The page also previews the Shanwar Kan review, describing it as a magnificent performance by the Paris Flower Division members. It notes the beautiful costumes, elaborate stage direction, and dynamic camera work. A checkpoint section includes a comment from Hiroi Oji, discussing an event held from September 9th to October 1st at Tokyo Joyopolis, featuring the Paris Flower Division. Hiroi Oji mentions that the opening movie is being created using CG, and expresses his long-held theme of fusing 2D anime and 3D CG in games, stating Sakura Wars 3 achieves this seamlessly. An image at the bottom shows a group of people, including Hiroi Oji, standing in front of Dreamcast and Windows CE banners, likely from the event discussed. This page continues with Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning?, and highlights the opening movie, mentioning scenes at the Eiffel Tower with the Paris Flower Division members. It praises the camera work and visuals, suggesting the movie captures the charm of the characters. The GameSpot section announces a wallpaper download service for Sakura Wars 3, offering 11 different wallpapers in JPEG and BMP formats, with sizes ranging from 640 by 480 to 1024 by 768. It mentions Dreamcast Magazine Online and Dreamcast Band, accessible via Dream Passport, as sources for this content. The website to download these wallpapers is provided as http://www.zdnet.co.jp/gamespot/. The page also showcases character artwork for Erika, Glycine, Koriko, and Lobelia in both casual and battlesuit versions. Additionally, a section titled Sakura Japan Network points to related online content, mentioning SoftBank, SoftBank Publishing, Yahoo, Japan, and Dreamcast Station websites. It highlights content like email, bulletin boards, and Dreamcast information available on these sites, promoting them as resources for Sakura Wars fans. There are also images of people likely related to the Sakura Wars project, advertising Countdown Live, and new spring singing show wallpapers. This page is dedicated to expanding on the Flower Division mail feature within Sakura Wars, Kinematron. It highlights Kinematron as an email software where you can exchange messages and use stamps. The page details how to collect and utilize these stamps within the game. There are several types of stamps explained. Basic stamps showing various character expressions, member-specific stamps which feature different members of the Flower Division in various styles, logo stamps showcasing iconic symbols like the war kanji and Sakura emblem, and birthday stamps featuring characters like Ayame, Kaide, Kana, and Ogami, which can be used on their birthdays. The page mentions that by supporting characters within the game, you accumulate points that unlock more stamps and messages from those characters. Collecting all stamps also unlocks special content. The game data box shows the release date is December 28th, with a price of 2,800 yen, and indicates it's classified as etc. or email software. It also mentions that the initial release of Kinematron includes a special bonus, a movie disc of Sakura Wars 3. This page continues the feature on Flower Division mail in Sakura Wars, Kinematron, focusing on the various types of stamps you can collect and use. It details member-specific stamps that you earn based on how many times you use the in-game guide service for each character. For example, interacting 3 times gets you a stamp of a character in battle uniform, 5 times gets a nice stamp, 10 times a stamp in casual wear, and 20 times a rage stamp. There are other stamp types too, such as battle uniform stamps 1 and 2 featuring dynamic poses, special stamps 1 and 2 which are described as having appealing illustrations based on special moves, chibi character stamps, which are cute deformed versions of the characters, and angel stamps, which are described as mysterious. The page also mentions that besides member-specific stamps, there are more hidden stamps unlocked based on character birthdays and usage frequency. It encourages players to collect all the stamps and complete the album feature, suggesting friendly competition to see who can complete it first. The album feature appears to be a collection screen to view all the stamps and album shots you have collected in Sakura Wars, Kinematron. This page is focused on the Sonic Team Fan Thanksgiving event, celebrating the launch of Phantasy Star Online. These events took place in Osaka and Tokyo, and featured appearances from Sonic and Tails, as well as rare merchandise, and special talks with the Sonic Team developers. The page includes an interview where they discuss initial skepticism around online gaming on Dreamcast, but emphasize how Phantasy Star Online was designed to be different, aiming for accessibility and a more emotional connection for players. They highlight the positive reception of the network trial, which involved 10,000 players. The game data section confirms Phantasy Star Online's release date of December 21st, along with pricing and network subscription information. It also mentions that during a demo play event at the fan gathering, they showcased how player feedback from the network trial led to an increase in the character name length from 8 to 12 characters. Finally, the page teases a year-end New Century Play special strategy guide for Phantasy Star Online within the magazine. This page celebrates the launch of Phantasy Star Online, highlighting its robust server infrastructure capable of handling 36,000 simultaneous connections across 22 global servers. It also emphasizes the game's compatibility with the Dreamcast broadband adapter for faster gameplay. The article details the use of motion capture for realistic animations, particularly for weapon movements, a feature that set it apart. The launch event included special in-game events like a Christmas tree event and a New Year's 21st Century event. Additionally, rare merchandise was showcased, and fans participated in a Q&A session with the Sonic team, receiving prizes. The overall theme revolves around the excitement surrounding the game's release, its technical advancements, and its efforts to engage the community through events and interactions. Phantasy Star Online character creation focuses on understanding hunter traits. Key stats include HP, health, hit, accuracy, TD, mental strength, TP, technique points, AC, evasion, and AD, attack power. 3 hunter types are detailed: Humar, Hunewhirl, and HU cast. Humar is a balanced, beginner-friendly choice, good at both combat and techniques. Hunewerl offers versatility, excelling with weapons and techniques but with lower HP. HU cast excels in weapon-based combat, possessing high HP and attack power but lacking techniques, requiring skilled play. Phantasy Star Online features 6 character classes. Ramar, a balanced ranger and human hybrid, excels in both techniques and combat but has low initial TP, suited for solo play. Racast, another ranger and android, is a ranged combat specialist with high attack but limited strategy, ideal for skilled marksmen. Racaseal, also a ranger and android, focuses on low-risk ranged combat with similar strategic limitations, appealing to players prioritizing aesthetics. Force classes include Fo Marl, a human hybrid, which quickly masters techniques but has low HP, recommended for technique-focused party players. Fo Neum, a Newman, gains explosive late-game power with high accuracy and early technique mastery, best for those seeking endgame power and group play. Finally, Fo Newhirl, another Newman, learns powerful techniques but struggles initially, requiring TP management, and is suited for advanced technique users. Each class has unique stats and recommended player styles. This guide provides essential tips for new Phantasy Star Online players focusing on offline play. Begin by accepting quests at the Hunter Guild, with 6 early quests outlined, including exploration and data-gathering missions. Experience points are shared, benefiting all party members regardless of who lands the final blow. When defeated, players drop equipped weapons and money, recoverable by returning to the defeat location. Avoid resetting the game. Specific action palette advice is given for each class during the prologue. Hunters should use extra attacks, forces should prioritize Barda and Fouet, and rangers should focus on weapon attacks and ranged combat. Finally, use the Start button to quickly close multiple menu windows. This page continues the Phantasy Star Online guide, offering 2 key combat rules for hunters struggling in battle. The first rule emphasizes using the L trigger to quickly center the camera and face enemies directly, ensuring you are properly targeting them for attacks. The second rule advises approaching enemies just close enough to attack, minimizing the risk of counterattacks by hitting them right as you enter their attack range. The guide then explains how leveling up in Phantasy Star Online improves your character's abilities and expands your equipment options. As you level up, you gain access to stronger weapons and armor in shops, and your core stats like attack power and hit rate also increase, enabling you to wield more powerful gear effectively. Shops will refresh their inventory with better items as your character level rises, offering more powerful equipment for purchase. Weapon selection should prioritize attribute modifiers, especially the native attribute, to maximize damage against common enemy types. For armor, the crucial aspect is the number of option part slots available in frames, armor, and shields. These slots allow for customization and enhancement of your defense using option parts. Finally, the guide recommends purchasing techniques early in the game. Characters. Even if your character's TP is currently too low to use them, acquiring techniques early is beneficial because higher-level techniques become unavailable in shops as you progress. Buying them early ensures you have access to them when you reach the required level. This page details a strategy guide for the offline quest, The Call of the Great Earth, in Phantasy Star Online. This quest, considered an early challenge, tasks players with collecting ecological data from 5 types of native creatures in the Ragal Forest. The guide highlights the strict 20-minute time limit, which can be particularly challenging for Force characters due to their TP consumption. A crucial point is that while the objective is to defeat all native creatures to collect data, Monist and Mosmant in Forest Area 1 do not yield data. Players must focus on defeating Monist and Mosmant, specifically in Forest Area 2, to gather the required data. The guide emphasizes adapting your weapon choice to the search area, as enemy attributes vary. In the forest area, you'll encounter native creatures. Caves are home to A-beasts, altar beast type enemies, and ruins are populated by machine enemies, mecha monster type. For Monist and Mosmant encounters in the forest, the strategy is to prioritize eliminating the Mosmant enemies that Monist spawns, as they can overwhelm players. It's crucial to attack Mosmant first, and then focus on Monist itself. Finally, the guide explains the quest failure conditions. Running out of time leads to immediate quest failure, as does allowing the NPC to be defeated. However, the player character can be defeated multiple times without failing the quest. The guide concludes by stressing that for the Call of the Great Earth quest, quick actions are necessary to avoid timeout failure. This Phantasy Star Online guide focuses on efficient progression. Even before defeating the dragon boss, prioritize leveling and accumulating money in the forest. Use telepipes to return to town and sell items, maximizing item collection. When levels are low, fight enemies near the gate for a safe retreat. In offline mode, raise your mag by feeding it recovery items to boost character stats via photon blasts. Before the dragon battle, sell excess items and store Meseta in the check room to avoid losses upon defeat. Remember that retries are possible, and losses are limited to weapons and Meseta, if not properly managed. This page is about getting into online play in Phantasy Star Online. It starts by introducing the visual lobby, which is the first place you'll encounter other players online to chat and team up. Once you arrive in the city, it's recommended to exchange guild cards, which are like in-game business cards, to help you connect with other players. The guide explains that Phantasy Star Online is designed for cooperative play, allowing teams of up to 4 to split tasks and tackle challenges more efficiently. To help communicate even further, there's a symbol chat system where you can create customized icons using different faces and objects, even adding sounds to express yourself beyond just text. It's all about making online interaction fun and engaging. This guide details the strategy for defeating the giant dragon boss in Phantasy Star Online's Central Dome area. The fight is divided into stages. Stage 1 involves ground-based attacks, requiring players to flank the dragon to avoid fire breath and evade aerial fire. Stage 2 sees the dragon burrows underground, with players needing to move to the arena's edge and dodge its charge attacks. Recognizing attack patterns is crucial. The guide also covers online mode, noting that teammates can revive fallen players using items like moon atomizers. Finally, a Let's Try section describes a pre-release quest where players retrieve a heat sword swallowed by a dragon, a humorous scenario available in both online and offline modes. This Q&A section for Phantasy Star Online addresses common player concerns. To play online, users must register for ISAO.net through Dream Passport and configure network settings. Problems connecting to servers are resolved by waiting, soft resetting, A, B, X, Y start, or powering off the Dreamcast, with potential data loss. Registration for ISAO.net is needed for a user ID and password, but alternative internet providers can also be used. The guild card system facilitates finding friends. Players exchange cards to easily locate each other within the game. Data corruption can occur when loading characters created on different Dreamcasts. Characters should be loaded on the original console. Finally, the section provides guidance on reporting malicious players who are exhibiting offensive behavior via email through the Sonic Team homepage. This page is a Q&A guide, providing helpful tips for Phantasy Star Online players. It addresses common questions such as why items with the same name can have different prices in shops, explaining that using the L/ER triggers reveals hidden stats and additional effects, and green item names indicate these bonuses. The guide clarifies the difference between online and offline quests, noting that while seemingly similar, online quests are downloaded and played with others online, while offline quests are solo experiences using downloaded data. For players stuck in the main story after defeating the dragon in the forest, the guide advises reporting to the governor to progress the narrative and unlock further areas like the caves and the Derole boss. It also offers advice on using symbol chat effectively, suggesting moderation during battles to avoid screen obstruction, and recommending its use for casual communication outside of intense combat. Finally, the guide encourages new online players to relax about using chat, reassuring them that everyone is nervous initially, and that basic conversational manners are sufficient, and it's always helpful to inform others if you are new to online chatting. The page also announces a Dreamcast Magazine investigative team of 4 members, named Hachi, Pian, Kaze, and Lemon, who will be playing Phantasy Star Online at home and reporting their findings. Readers are invited to submit questions and artwork related to the game via email or post. This guide focuses on the beginning of the Dreamcast adventure game, Tante Shinshi Dash. It aims to assist players, particularly those struggling early on. The game features a cast of characters, including Detective Debito Nishimura, a mysterious old man investigating an affair, and the maid droid Mint Mitsurugi, living at a detective agency. Other key figures are Naomi Harukaze, a high school student, Ayako Kiritani, an idol's contact, Sayoko Murauchi, a journalist, Aya Aoyagi, wife of a disappeared criminal, Soichiro Komura, an enthusiastic butler, and the detective Akima Futaragi. The guide highlights mysteries surrounding Mint, who is targeted by a shadowy organization. It also raises questions about Sayoko's late-night activities. Released December 21st for 6,800 yen. The game includes adventure elements and VMU minigames. The next page is a guide to navigating the world of Detective Gentleman Dash, focusing on the game's map and the first steps in the adventure. It highlights the importance of mastering the map to avoid getting lost, particularly noting locations with time-sensitive shops. 2 initial cases are introduced. Case number 1, Invisible Wife Search, where the player is asked to find a wife who seems to have vanished without a trace. And case number 2, Mint equals Royal Sword Protective Escort Incident, which involves the mysterious Mint and her pursuers. The World Map section details 5 key areas players should familiarize themselves with: Chinatown Entrance, Central Street, Office Street, Millennium Hotel Front, and Ocean View Hill Park, each described with its characteristics and notable locations. Finally, the guide points out 2 hidden shops in Chinatown: Koryu Daichuka Ryori Restaurant and China Old Book Game Shop, emphasizing that players need to investigate the larger shops to uncover these hidden locations, with specific times for accessing the game shop. This page is a walkthrough for Detective Gentleman Dash, focusing on case number 1, Invisible Wife Search. It's structured as a guide to help players progress through the initial stages of this case. The page highlights the prologue section, which sets up the scenario with a phone call from Makoto Mayuko. The walkthrough then outlines the investigation route, starting with meeting information broker Ash in Zippel between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. It continues with encountering a mysterious old gentleman in a residential area at any time. There's a section called Out of Order Events, listing several events like Debit West Pier and Bump into a woman searching for a detective, new information from Mayuko Makoto, and a very intimidating man appears, with specific times and locations mentioned. Mage. These events are not strictly linear, meaning you might encounter them in a different order. The guide also provides tips on how to meet Makoto Magami. It explains that after receiving a call from Ash about a woman looking for a detective, waiting at the detective agency office won't work. Instead, you need to leave the office and return to the front of the detective agency to encounter Mami Makoto waiting in the rain. Finally, it mentions checking whether Mami Makoto's words are true, and then accepting a request from her to progress the story. It emphasizes that this is just one example route, and not necessarily the only way to solve the case. This guide details the investigation in Detective Gentleman Dash, following Mayumi's request. Players must verify her husband's existence using Look and Investigate to unlock locations. The Nexus phone number is found by observing neon signs. A phone call from Mayumi signals a heightened threat. Unordered events include gathering information at a hotel, eavesdropping in Chinatown, questioning people at the Koryu Chinese restaurant and Jipre, and contacting Nex. Additional events involve encountering a mysterious old gentleman, Mayumi's calls and appearances, her being chased, and secret phone calls to Nex. Other events include running into Saigobashi, calls from Ash, and warnings from Emma. The investigation culminates with a call for help from Mayumi. Players must now independently determine Mayumi's fate. The next page is a strategy guide for Detective Gentleman Dash, focusing on Incident Number 2, the Mint Royal Guard Incident. This guide details the investigation route for this new case, which involves a character named Mint. It starts with entering the Royal Palace to meet Mint, talking to her, finding out where she sleeps, and then dealing with a strange event before Mint suddenly disappears. The guide suggests searching for Mint at the Seaview Park when she disappears. There's also a detailed schedule of Mint's daily routine, listing activities like breakfast, cleaning, lunch, washing, shopping, dinner, ear cleaning, and bedtime, giving players an idea of her daily life. The guide also includes helpful advice boxes. One box explains when you can meet Mint at the Royal Palace, specifically between 2 o'clock and 2:30 in the afternoon. Other tips suggest accepting Mint's request early on in the investigation, even if it seems time-consuming, and explains that if Mint goes missing from the detective agency, you should head to the Seaview Park at night to find her. Scenario Strategy Number 4, Seaview Mansion Murder Incident, requires fulfilling Mint's daily event norms, eating 3 meals and taking 4 baths. Meeting these triggers a call from Emma, advancing the story. If no call, reevaluate daily activities. After the phone call, the mystery unfolds. Mint may vanish, often appearing at Seaview Park at night. Finding her is key to solving the case. The guide provides flowcharts outlining routine and non-routine events, detailing potential encounters. A cool code decryption section suggests calling the detective agency for clues about a cryptic code, with the example clue suggesting the @ symbol represents @ and is linked to English study. Players are encouraged to solve the code independently. In an interview, Tante Shinshi Dash, producer Hiroyuki Kano discusses the game's detective theme and development. The game, designed for the Dreamcast for its advanced capabilities, aims to immerse players in the thrill of investigation. A key feature is the investigation time limit system, which rewards quick problem solving, though slow progress doesn't block completion. The game boasts branching scenarios, allowing player choices to shape the narrative. Kano collaborated with a sound director and AD for casting, particularly praising voice actress Inoue Kikuko. He was drawn to the detective theme's inherent mystery. Ultimately, Kano hopes players find the game enjoyable and satisfying. In this interview, Detective Gentleman Dash, producer Hiroyuki Kano, discusses the sequel, Mystery Irreversible Worlds Detective Gentleman, starring Nanjio Fuyuki. The new game will feature a more systematic game system, especially in the charge system. Kano, known for games often categorized as GAL games, prioritizes creating enjoyable experiences regardless of genre. He values player feedback, incorporating it into development while ensuring his own enjoyment comes first. Kano's development process involves deciding the ending up front and working backward. He sees games as interactive media, emphasizing player agency. The interview also touches upon his upbringing within the Sega market and highlights his influential works like Uno and Desire, Sega Saturn. The significance of voice actress Inoue Kikuko, a key collaborator, is underscored, along with the mention of Exodus Guilty for PlayStation. This page is dedicated to Eldorado Gate Volume 3, highlighting it as a long-form story and introducing new characters. It mentions that Volume 2 was already released, and players are anticipating Volume 3. The page teases the story of Volume 3, noting it's the 7th chapter in the overall series, and twice the volume of previous chapters, also introducing a new character in the 8th chapter. There is a character introduction for Pamela, described as a beautiful 18-year-old swordswoman from a martial arts family. She is skilled, but uninterested in anything beyond her own refinement, and in this story, she might lose her memory. Game Data provides the release date as February 2, 2001, priced at 2,800 yen, 120 points. It's an RPG with 1 player, requires 1 memory block, and is a VGA-compatible title. The webpage address for Capcom is also listed there. There is a note about future volumes, indicating Volume 1 and 2 are already out, and Volume 4 is scheduled for April 4, 2001. The page also mentions Member Great Gathering of Fate, which seems to be referring to the characters featured in Volume 3, shown in a group shot. The screenshots showcase in-game scenes with dialogue. One screenshot shows dialogue from a female character saying, "Ah no, here is... where is it?" Another screenshot shows a character saying, "It's going to be a bit flooded, but it's a beautiful town, so enjoy it." Eldorado Gate Volume 3, Chapter 7, City of Submersion, focuses on Kanan, who lost her abilities in Chapter 2, and is now in the Land of Fate facing new challenges. Her disappearance triggers an emergency meeting, with her companions locating her in an underwater cave. They must rescue her before she faces another trial, possibly connected to the demon god. The chapter features a 4-person party realization, uniting the main characters for battles. The setting is the Vanisu area, threatened by a water crisis. The chapter introduces Inventor Mashimo, who may possess weapons to combat the flooding. Screenshots reveal dialogue about Kanan's search and the rising water levels, as well as battle scenes and underwater locations. The chapter's central question is how to rescue Kanan in the submerged city. Eldorado Gate Volume 3, Chapter 8, Memory Camera, features Pamela, a swordswoman with amnesia, arriving in the Land of Fate. Radia begins a quest to help Pamela regain her memories. The chapter introduces a memory camera, a key item, and sees Pamela initially attacked by shadowy figures. Pantolos also returns, and the narrative unfolds with a Pantolos outbreak, hinting at his involvement. A key element is the search for a dog connected to a mysterious box. This leads Radia to a desolate village in the Vanis region, where a detective story involving the Mud Doll Woman and the absent martial artist, Musashi, unfolds. Pamela's lineage is potentially connected to Musashi. Importantly, Chapter 8 introduces selectable party members for the first time. Finding the dog is crucial, as it holds information vital to finding Pamela and restoring her memories. This strategy guide page for Eldorado Gate Volume 2 focuses on rare card acquisition and item exchange. Players can obtain the 7-day card and time-space card after Episode 6 by speaking to Gabri. The 7-day card requires the collection of cards representing the days of the week, while the time-space card needs past, present, and future cards requiring Volume 1 game data. The guide also covers the August Stone Exchange, allowing players to trade stones for items like dragon fangs and wolf plates. Hidden points are revealed for Episodes 4, 5, and 6, including treasure locations like the White Gold Scale and certain Kill Arm Ring. Episode 5 provides access to a weapon shop. Finally, the guide provides a monster list, detailing monster stats and item drops to help players gather specific items. Dreamcast Magazine Volume 8 details weapon and armor synthesis in Eldorado Gate Volume 2. The guide covers 122 weapon and armor types across 8 categories, including knives, daggers, bows, heavy armor, robes, hammers, swords, suits, breastplates, and shields. Recipes and stats are provided, focusing on equipment for characters like Gomez, Radia, and Kanan. Key items and their synthesis include the gold knife, swallow dagger, speed-focused, heavy bow, strong but less useful for Kanan, silver armor for Gomez, swallow clothes for Radia, silver hammer, bastard sword, soldier's longsword, obtained from a boss, swallow tunic, power plate, and thief's shield, high evasion. Players are encouraged to utilize synthesis shops and acquire rare items to create powerful equipment. Eldorado Gate Volume 8 explores scenario development and characters. Staff are deeply involved, repeatedly experiencing the ending. Scenario writers face challenges over 5 years, with characters like Bad undergoing significant changes. Bad, initially a subordinate, evolved into a vengeful spirit with a harsh destiny, raising questions about his potential for hope. Hirohisa Soda, key to the scenarios, is introduced. Picture Gallery of Souls highlights the release of Volume 2 and encourages fan interaction. The Monthly Attention section features fan comments, including a humorous query about an Oni statue from Yukito, and Riondo's observations on the Bud and Kobud relationship. The article encourages more reader submissions. This page details Biohazard Code, Veronica Complete Edition, Resident Evil Code, Veronica Complete Edition. It highlights the game as the complete Biohazard experience for the new generation. The article mentions that STARS, Chris and Claire from Biohazard 2, Resident Evil 2, are central characters in Veronica, and this version adds Wesker's events to the storyline, solidifying its place within the larger Biohazard saga, Resident Evil saga. The page also announces a special 5th anniversary commemorative disc called Wesker Report, which is a DVD. This DVD contains about 16 million copies of recorded sales of the Biohazard series to date, and is described as a collection of Biohazard content. It is noted that this DVD is in DVD-VIDEO format and requires a DVD player. It also mentions the distribution is limited to pre-orders and encourages people to pre-order quickly. The Albert Wesker, A Man Called Wesker section describes Wesker as a key figure in the Biohazard 1, Resident Evil, Tyrant Research, and the former captain of the STARS Alpha team where Chris belongs. It states Wesker is an indispensable character in the Biohazard series. In Veronica, he appears again to confront Chris, this time as a mysterious entity from a different organization than Umbrella. The text expresses anticipation for the Veronica Complete Edition to reveal the many mysteries surrounding Wesker. This page reveals fresh screenshots for Biohazard Code, Veronica Complete Edition, showcasing the enhancements in this updated release. It emphasizes that, similar to the Director's Cut editions, this Complete Edition primarily adds content, focusing on Wesker's expanded storyline and a redesigned Steve Burnside character model. The page showcases the evolution of Steve's appearance, contrasting his original look with the new model, noting a change in hairstyle and overall impression, suggesting the updated model better reflects his age. Claire's character model, however, remains consistent with the previous version. Additionally, it highlights the Wesker Report, which is actually the Wesker Report DVD previously mentioned, positioning it as Wesker's exploration into the history of the Biohazard series. The DVD packaging is displayed, reinforcing the Wesker's Report DVD video as a special pre-order incentive, summarizing the extensive Biohazard narrative. This page delves into Biohazard Code, Veronica. It highlights the Complete Edition as a significant upgrade, emphasizing enhanced polygon graphics and the return of features reminiscent of the original Biohazard, such as item rotation for closer inspection. The attack object system is showcased, where interactive elements like tanks can be triggered to cause explosions, impacting gameplay, and potentially damaging enemies. The page also mentions the importance of file items within the game, acting as sources of information and story background. Furthermore, the page presents a retrospective of the Biohazard series' 5-year journey, outlining the timeline from the mansion incident of the first Biohazard, Resident Evil, through Biohazard 2, Resident Evil 2, and Biohazard 3, Last Escape, Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, culminating in Biohazard Code, Veronica. A character relationship diagram is included, illustrating connections between key figures such as Chris and Claire as siblings, and characters like Wesker, Leon, and various STARS and Umbrella Corporation members like Jill Valentine, Barry Burton, Rebecca Chambers, Brad Vickers, Carlos Oliveira, HUNK, Alfred Ashford, and Alexia Ashford, providing context to the sprawling Biohazard universe. Biohazard Code. Veronica Complete Edition gameplay emphasizes environmental interaction through item discovery and investigation, including a press object mechanic and the use of a lighter for illumination and defense. Players can rotate items for close examination, uncovering hidden details. A 180-degree turn aids in evasion. The page also introduces the Ashford family as antagonists. The text then provides a retrospective on the Biohazard, Resident Evil series. Biohazard, Resident Evil features STARS members trapped in a mansion. Biohazard 2, Resident Evil 2, depicts the Raccoon City outbreak, with Claire Redfield searching for her brother and Leon. Biohazard 3, Last Escape, Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, concludes the Raccoon City saga with Jill Valentine's struggle against the pursuer. This page details the short scenario mission mode in the game 100. This mission mode is described as shorter scenarios, distinct from the adventure mode, allowing players to easily enjoy missions. It's stated that each mission has its own victory conditions. The page highlights that after completing a mission, battle results are recorded, showing damage dealt to enemies and damage taken by the player, which determines a rank from A to D. This rank doesn't affect gameplay, but allows players to earn high-level shells and aims for A rank. It mentions that past play data and high scores are saved. There are 3 difficulty levels for missions: Beginner, Intermediate, and Advanced. The screenshot examples show mission briefings, map overviews, and character portraits of Nalavalle, Gran, and Mascar as allied forces, and Ruplastori, and Gran as enemy forces. Missions include objectives such as Wave Attack Breakthrough, Fortress Siege, Move the Wounded, Two Great Generals, Land of Death, and Peace Treaty Sabotage. The text encourages players to challenge missions repeatedly until satisfied, even if they have played once, and mentions that large-scale battles, unseen in adventure mode, can be played in this mode. This page continues to explain the game modes for 100. It details two modes, Mission Mode and Character Mode. Mission Mode is described as similar to Adventure Mode in terms of world setting and character relationships, but with independent scenarios, allowing for quick play sessions focused on battles with a leader character. Character Mode is presented as a mode offering different situations and side stories not found in Mission Mode, with a mix of serious and comical scenarios. The text mentions a ratio of Majin 5, Comical 3, suggesting a blend of tones. The page includes screenshots from the game. One screenshot features the characters Nell and Iris in a battle, with dialogue, "Oops, did I get a parent?" Another screenshot with the same characters mentions Encounters 2, Rents, and Priscilla's. A large illustration on the right side showcases Priscilla Caroon, introduced as the blue-eyed female general. The 100-character Encyclopedia 4 section provides details about Priscilla. She is described as a blue-eyed female general under Rent's Mascar. She was originally a bandit leader before joining Mascar's army after meeting Rent's, suggesting a developing relationship between them. The bottom of the page features the Swords logo and further gameplay screenshots, likely still from 100, showing battles with units including Priscilla. The next page delves into the diverse maps available in 100, stating there are nearly 70 different maps for players to experience across all game modes. The page showcases 4 distinct map environments: a poisonous pond map, a snowfield, shallows with beautiful clear water, and fortresses. Descriptions highlight the unique characteristics of each environment. For example, the shallows are noted for their clear water and potential for mounted units to lose mobility. The page then transitions to explain the roles of buildings within the game. It focuses on 3 key structures: the mining site, which is used to gather resources and cannot be built in enemy territory; the headquarters, described as the core of the base, where leader characters can be called out, hit points recovered, troops mustered, and buildings improved; and the barracks. The barracks, when upgraded, enhances the base's defense, and allows for special troop types like golems and flying troops to be garrisoned, although these require additional resources. The barracks provides functions for recovery, mustering troops, and base improvements. Finally, there's an entry in the 100-character encyclopedia focusing on Rent's Mascar. He's described as a heavily armored infantry soldier, wielding a large sword, and a warrior who holds a deep resentment towards Naruvul. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate gameplay on the different map types and building functions, including examples of Gran and Plus Ultra factions' headquarters. This page details the shell equipment system in 100, explaining how shells are used to enhance unit abilities. Shells are activated by consuming SP, and the amount of SP used affects the shell's power and duration, with up to 3 levels of SP consumption. There are over 100 types of shells across 4 categories. Attack shells increase offensive capabilities. Defense shells improve protection. Movement shells enable special movement actions like river crossing or cliff climbing. And special shells provide diverse leader-specific effects. The page also features a section exploring Mascar country, presenting background information on the game's world. The Tyrant King rules Mascar, and featured characters include Mirabor, a strategic advisor; Edo Krargan, a magician; David F. Wardred, a tactical illusionist; and Priscilla Carlin, a female general under Rent's Mascar, who is identified as the Tyrant King's son. Screenshots illustrate shell usage in gameplay, such as units navigating rivers and cliffs using movement shells, alongside portraits and descriptions of the Mascar country characters. This page is dedicated to Cardcaptor Sakura, Tomoyo's video operation, offering a detailed look into stages 2 and 3. Stage 2 is set in a nighttime aquarium, and the challenge is to capture the elusive watery card, which is described as shapeless water. The page poses the question of how to capture it. Stage 3's highlight is the Stage Eye Catch feature, where the anime-style illustrations that appear during gameplay change based on Tomoyo's video filming efforts. Screenshots show Sakura facing the watery card and Tomoyo filming with her video camera. Game data includes details like its release date on December 28th and pricing for both limited and regular editions. It's also mentioned that Sakura's costume in the game is based on the Pierrot outfit from episode 3 of the anime series. This title was only released in Japan. This page continues detailing Cardcaptor Sakura, Tomoyo's video operation. Moving on to stage 3, which features Sakura trying to capture the Thunder card. The gameplay involves using the Fly card for aerial battles and the Jump card to dodge attacks while filming. There's also a secret cut feature where hidden scenes can be discovered by following hints after clearing stages. The page highlights other game content beyond the main stages, including a Crow card introduction, a movie collection, and minigames. 2 minigames are showcased: Osiatsu Hunter Karo-chan DX, where you collect snacks, and Tobase Karo-chan, where you blow air to move Karo-chan and collect coins. Lastly, the Sakura-chan clock is mentioned, which features time-based changes and messages from Karo-chan, Tomoyo, and Xiaolang. This title was exclusively released in Japan. This page is about Metropolis Street Racer, a racing game for the Dreamcast. It's previewed as a special Dori Maga report from Dreamcast Magazine. The game is set in 3 major cities around the world, and this page focuses on the Tokyo course. The Tokyo stage recreates areas like Shinjuku, Shibuya, and Asakusa in detail for city street races. Screenshots showcase nighttime Shibuya, highlighting recognizable buildings and streets that fans will instantly recognize. The Tokyo course highlights section emphasizes the realistic recreation of Shibuya, stating that anyone who sees it will know it's Shibuya, with faithfully reproduced streets. It encourages players to drift through these accurately depicted city environments. The Check section details the game's theme as virtual reality race. Metropolis Street Racer aims to be a virtual reality racing experience set in real-world locations, using real cars. The core gameplay focuses purely on the enjoyment of driving and racing, with damage to cars and buildings being purely visual and not affecting gameplay. The game is scheduled for release on February 22, 2001, by Sega, priced at 5,800 yen, or 300 points. It supports 12 players, and is categorized as a racing game, RAC. The game is compatible with VGA output, vibration packs, and racing controllers. The Dori Maga report highlights the London and San Francisco courses in Metropolis Street Racer. London features detailed recreations of landmarks like Trafalgar Square and Big Ben, with varying road widths for dynamic racing. The ambiance encourages players to use British cars. San Francisco showcases Fisherman's Wharf and the Golden Gate Bridge, emphasizing nighttime racing and the city's steep hills and sharp corners. The game includes 44 car models from 14 manufacturers, including Japanese and European brands, with realistic driving physics. The developer, Bizarre Creations, known for their experience with racing games, promises realistic car movements. This page previews the Dreamcast game, Close to Inori no Okade, a romance-adventure title from KID. The game's story revolves around a protagonist who becomes a ghost after an accident. He can no longer touch his loved one or communicate with words. The narrative unfolds in this unusual setting, emphasizing the emotional depth of the relationship. The game features character design by popular illustrator Gotep. The main character designer is P. The game is described as an adventure game, where encounters with girls drive the story. The protagonist, now a ghost, discovers his state and is troubled. 3 girls who can perceive his presence appear, rapidly developing the situation. The adventure part of the game focuses on map movement and progressing the story by talking to people in different locations, with dialogue choices available. One featured character is Yuna Kashiwagi, voiced by Yuna Kashiba. She is described as often talking to herself, seemingly cheerful and innocent, and popular with boys. She lives alone in an apartment due to her parents' work, and has lost her memories due to the shock of an accident involving her boyfriend, Motomiki. The game is scheduled for release in April 2001, priced at 6,800 yen, 360 points. The game's genre is Adventure, ADV. The website address for KID is also listed. This page previews Close to Inori no Okade, focusing on gameplay where the ghost protagonist interacts with his girlfriend, Yuna, in her room. Players use psychic abilities to get Yuna's attention, aiming to make her aware of his presence. The game explores the emotional theme of being unable to convey feelings after a sudden accident turns the protagonist into a ghost. Character introductions include Koyuki Tachibana, a mysterious and perceptive girl who can sense the protagonist's ghost. Shoko Shiomi, Yuna's cheerful best friend, acts as a link between the protagonist and Yuna, possibly harboring romantic feelings for the protagonist. Finally, Mai Sakisaka, an elementary school student fascinated by the supernatural, adds a youthful and energetic presence. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast game Eve Zero Arc of the Matter, described as the complete edition. It focuses on the game's story and characters, highlighting the perspectives of private detective Kojiro Amagi and Mari as they investigate a case. The preview is framed as a special report from Dreamcast Magazine and is set on the second day of Kojiro's investigation into a missing boy. Screenshots showcase different scenes from the game and character interactions. One section, Inside Story Kojiro's Past and Yusei's Encounter, delves into Kojiro's backstory, mentioning his researcher father and a meeting with a character named Yusei. Another screenshot shows a scene with characters and dialogue boxes, including a character named Nikaido. The text in the dialogue boxes includes phrases like, "Leave me alone, you old man," and "What are you going to do by doing this?" Game data reveals Eve Zero is an adventure game, ADV, slated for release on March 22, 2001, and priced at 7,800 yen. The game's website address is also provided. The preview generally sets the scene for the game's narrative and character dynamics. The next page continues the preview of Eve Zero Arc of the Matter, the complete edition of the game. It highlights a new urgent development in the story, focusing on a research facility incident. A key element is the discovery of a grotesque mutant body, which is revealed to be a murdered Research Institute employee, as stated by the character Akane. Akane's investigation into a researcher named Nishina is mentioned, stemming from rumors that Nishina could create corpses through human experiments. The page also includes a humorous section focusing on Kojiro, who is described as a pervert. He observes a suspicious couple in Central Avenue during his investigation, initially dismissing them, but later wondering if they are connected to the case. Shifting focus to Marina's side of the story, titled Side Marina, she is engaged in a hectic schedule of investigating the mutant body case and providing VIP security under orders from her superior. Using the search for a missing girl as a cover, Marina ventures into the city and receives crucial information from an old friend. The missing girl, Toa, has been taken by a suspicious man. Screenshots depict a tense scene where Toa is in danger as an ominous man approaches, with both Marina and Akane calling out to her in alarm. The page concludes by teasing an exciting climax to the story. This page continues with more details on Eve Zero Arc of the Matter. The side Kojiro section explains that Kojiro is relieved to see Oyaji-san, Genzaburo, who he hasn't seen for 3 years. Genzaburo called Kojiro to pick him up from the airport and appeared unchanged. Kojiro is also checking up on a warehouse, concerned about suspicious activity. Screenshots show Kojiro with Genzaburo in a car, Genzaburo at a door, and Kojiro near a crane game machine, seemingly investigating. The side Marina segment focuses on Marina's investigation of a deadly punch incident. It describes Marina as a wild dog, capable of taking down enemies. She's investigating a situation where a man was found dead in a grotesque state, seemingly related to the mutant body case from the previous page. One screenshot shows Marina delivering a powerful punch labeled Smash. The verification section highlights the visual improvements in the Dreamcast version. It mentions zoom portrait check and that the graphics are cleaner and more detailed than the PlayStation version, especially during character dialogue in focus mode. Screenshots compare the visual quality, emphasizing the improved clarity on Dreamcast. The text mentions the font is also clearer and easier to read. Finally, the mischief section mentions that mischievous acts are serious crimes that violate the Welfare Act and are barbaric. It depicts Toa being comforted by another character, implying this relates to the child protection aspect of the game's storyline. One screenshot has text about Toa being safe and unharmed. This page is from the Dream Magazine Plaza Weekly section, featuring a shape-only Christmas special of reader submissions called Free Talk with Robo. Readers are asking questions and giving comments to Robo, the editor character. Topics include the definition of gal or gyaru in gaming context, and whether it's acceptable to refer to gal games even in death. One reader shares a story about buying Sniper Elite, possibly misspelled in Japanese, for 100 yen and being happy about it during Christmas. And another reader is asking about character voices being used as alarm clocks and battery life concerns. Robo provides humorous and slightly sarcastic responses. The page also includes a weekly calendar spanning from December 22nd to January 4th, listing daily events, birthdays, and possibly game release dates. Many of the listed items are likely birthdays of famous personalities, events related to Christmas and New Year celebrations, and some could be related to game or entertainment releases during that period. There are also character panels with manga-style drawings as part of the Free Talk section, discussing gal and gal games. This page showcases various reader submissions and movie recommendations. The top section features reader artwork under titles like Dream Maga Art Club, Spotted Cat's Weather Vane, and Dream Weather Forecast, all themed around Christmas. These are showcasing fan art with Christmas and winter themes. Moving to movies, under Dream Maga Recommended Movies, there are reviews for Gods and Monsters and Julian. Gods and Monsters is described as a 1998 American Academy Award-winning film, previously unreleased in Japanese cinemas, but now available due to fan demand. It stars Ian McKellen and Brendan Fraser, and is a tragic story about James Whale and Frankenstein. Julian is described as a hard New York street kid story, written by Harmony Korine when he was 19. It's noted for its unique visuals and portrayal of peculiar daily life and characters. Finally, there's a movie ranking chart listing the top 10 films. Number 1 is Charlie's Angels, followed by Exorcist Director's Cut at number 2, 100 Miles to Heaven at number 3, and 15 Years Old School IV at number 4. Other movies in the top 10 include Titus, Space Cowboy, Pitch Black, Ekiden Station, Shaft, and Autumn in New York. This chart seems to be based on cinema attendance in the Shibuya, Shinjuku, and Ginza areas of Tokyo from December 2nd to December 8th. This page features reader submissions and an article about edutainment games. Reader art includes fan art referencing the anime/game Blue Submarine No. 6, and illustrations signed by various artists from different Japanese prefectures, some with Christmas themes. The main article, Akihabara Game Anthology, Backstage of Game Shop Episode 47, Re-examining Edutainment Titles, discusses the challenges of creating engaging edutainment games. The author, involved in the Akihabara game scene, reflects on the struggle to balance education and entertainment, noting that many titles fail to achieve both. The article touches on the perception of these games, often sold cheaply and viewed as primarily for children, and emphasizes the need for edutainment to be truly enjoyable, and not just educational. A related comic strip concludes the page. Dreamaga Garden Volume 3 is a reader-submitted magazine emphasizing interaction. The issue includes sections on New Year's plans and memories, including humorous references to nosebleeds. Readers are encouraged to submit content referencing page 85. The Shota Countermeasure Terminology Corner features reader contributions on related themes. Next One Is Coming discusses trends among young girls, particularly neo-romance games, and solicits predictions for future trends. A section focuses on neo-romance games and invites reader submissions for prizes. Finally, a book recommendation section with a Christmas theme highlights Nightmare Before Christmas, Restless Sleep by Charlotte McLeod, and Grinch. This page previews content for the January 26th issue, showcasing interactive reader-submitted sections. These sections range from advice columns like ISC handles your troubles to creative prompts such as search for the actions of that character, creation, do it, and game-related inquiries like looking for that game. There are also sections focused on manga, Namco games, Namco Soul, and reader-suggested phrases and words. One reader humorously asks, "Please tell me how to win the Nobel Prize," receiving various funny answers such as recommending specific people, telling jokes, and building a time machine to win the physics prize. In Please Listen to My Bragging Story, a reader shares a Christmas anecdote about encountering a Santa-like figure in a suit. Dream Santa Elusive and Unpredictable discusses a Dreamcast promotional event where people dressed as Santa distributed Dreamcast magazines, advising readers to be cautious and hold on to the magazines if they encounter them. Another reader in Family and questions if their family's annual Christmas party is something to be proud of, comparing their family to a home drama. The page also features the start of a comic strip titled Prive X Actress Volume 001 with simple cartoon art. This page features reader interactions and new music releases. Fierce Love Cafe acknowledges reader contributions, humorously addressing why not all submissions are published, with a reader expressing their fandom. We Met in a Dream showcases reader art, including requests for a Wizards Academy Dreamcast game and other illustrations with comments. The page then highlights new CDs. Luna Seas Lunasia's period album, a final best of, is set for December 23rd. Ami Suzuki's Amigaround Tour DVD, featuring her summer tour, is also releasing on the same date. Maxi singles include Birth by Ken Morioka with a romantic theme, and PDOCTOR by Makito Naganuma Wild and Delicates. Lastly, Moyero Justice Gakuen original soundtrack and the album Drugstore Cowboy are also available. This page is a reader opinion and feedback section of Dreamcast Magazine. Under Dreamcast Opinion Box, readers share their thoughts on Dreamcast topics. One reader from Okinawa suggests Sega put a picture of the Dreamcast console on the box, as the plain white box might confuse people unfamiliar with it, comparing it to iMac packaging. Another reader from Aichi Prefecture discusses the lifespan of online games, expressing sadness at game services ending, and suggesting Capcom-like games that are complete single-player experiences with optional online network features, ideal for titles that may become unavailable online later. A reader from Osaka Prefecture requests immersive party games for both hardcore and casual gamers. Another reader from Kagoshima Prefecture encourages third-party developers to work hard, mentioning they bought a Dreamcast recently due to lack of new game announcements. The Holy Knight's Tragedy, Dorihiro Open Area Declaration section features manga-style illustrations, with humorous commentary. The Veronica Complete Edition section seems to highlight Resident Evil Code Veronica, likely the Dreamcast title, as a fully complete version. Tomo Sakurai's column, Today's Win Volume 13, and continuation, I Want to Be Beautiful, discusses her thoughts as the year-end approaches, mentioning year-end cleaning and a desire to be beautiful, reflecting on childhood experiences and comparing herself to siblings, and her desire to be beautiful inside and out as an adult. A profile section details Tomo Sakurai's birthday, birthplace, debut as a voice actress and singer, and her current regular appearances on radio programs. The Dori Manga Great Discharge Year-End Special in Dreamcast Magazine features reader-submitted manga from various prefectures. These short strips offer a diverse range of humor, including scenarios from Kyoto about a gaming husband, a Yamanashi dart game, Fukuoka girls mimicking Shenmue characters, a Kanagawa smell of a man gag, and Mie's Round Maru's mother. Other contributions include a Shizuoka animal story, Wakayama parental advice and a parody character, and a Hokkaido Gundam-themed conversation. The issue also includes a point ranking for submissions related to games. The Corners Guide details other magazine sections, while the Draft Box outlines submission guidelines, including materials and illustrations. Finally, an Address Corner provides the mailing address for reader submissions. This week's Neo Blackor examines commercial film trends. The column by Fumio Kurokawa discusses the 54th TV Advertising Dentsu Awards, where he is a judge. He highlights commercials from various categories, including those for NTT East Japan, SMAP, and food and beverage companies like House Foods. In the gaming sector, Enix's Dragon Quest V-2 and SMAP featured commercials for Elementary School Teacher Edition and Tokimeki Memorial Edition are mentioned. Kurokawa observes the prevalence of female characters, but notes the continued popularity of male figures like Masaaki Sakai. He emphasizes the importance of commercials for the game industry. News headlines include Kyocera and Nintendo discussions, developments in design and AI and analysis of game center trends, AOL's involvement in network services, and questions regarding MD-Pad ownership and Dreamcast compatibility. This page highlights anime broadcast specials for the Christmas and New Year holidays on CS and CATV channels. Animax is featuring a Mobile Suit Gundam marathon starting December 30th, including the 08 THMS Team, Gundam Movies 22, OVAs of You're Under Arrest, and Ah My Goddess, with a campaign where 2,001 people can win prizes. KidStation is also broadcasting anime marathons from December 26th to January 4th, including Slayer's TV series, Project Echo OVAs, Anime Around the World in 80 Days, and Ranma 1/2, among 22 titles. Specifically, Maison Ikoku is also getting an all-night broadcast. WOWOW will broadcast 100 hours of requested movies, featuring 47 titles from over 1,200 films, starting December 27th. Additionally, Spielberg's anime Toon Sylvania will begin broadcasting from January 8th. Finally, the page introduces the 3D CG anime, The Aurora Ocean of Aurora, which will be released on DVD and video in 2001 by VAP. The anime, produced by Nippon Television over 2 years and 10 months, depicts environmental changes in the deep sea near a southern island in the 21st century, and features human drama. The DVD and video release is scheduled for January 24th. This page highlights several anime DVD/video releases and broadcast schedules. Handmade May Memory, 3/5, and V Gundam 13 Less Than Final Chapter Greater Than are available, along with bonus content. Tales of Eternia, based on the PlayStation RPG, is set to premiere on WOWOW in January 2001. Other releases include Moncall Knights 6, Armored Trooper Ordeon Act 6, Ayashi no Seres Volume 3, Hidamari no Ki 7, Sorceress Stabber Orphan Revenge Volume 8, and Captain Tsubasa Elementary School Arc DSC.10. Space Warrior Baldios DVD BOX1 is a limited edition release. Oh, My Ancestor! Second Story Heat Haze is an OVA series. Additionally, New Masked Rider, Skyrider, will begin airing on Family Theater in January 2001, a 54-episode series described as a return to the original series design and setting. This page is a manga strip titled Samsung Yoshimatsu Theater, Christmas Commemoration Romantic Milky Way Railroad, a romantic comedy set on a train. Characters mention the game Killer 7 and Glass Rose, Glass Noke's Subterranean Rose, along with a joke about a skeleton Dreamcast. The strip depicts conversations between characters on a train dining car, discussing food, Christmas, and seemingly random topics in a comedic style. One panel mentions the Francesa, which might be a train stop name or location within the manga. This page is from Comic Wonderland, Episode 16, and is divided into 2 sections. The left side, DC Fan Zone, by Tokumitsu Yasuyuki, features a robot character called Controller Sasori, labeled as Desteron Monster No. 2, and a DC original hero. It humorously poses questions about its weapons and weaknesses, also mentioning a hero biography, and sounds like Puru Puru Pakun, along with an odd comment about Sega's building turning to powder. The right side, same level, by Kadoi Ayaya, presents a girl character who seems to be drawing or writing, mentioning Sega Saturn and contemplating using the name Ayaya Han Hak for something called Sega Tape, before suddenly shifting to pondering dog and cat names. This week, Deep Dive interview focuses on Kinji Fukasaku's controversial film, Battle Royale, subtitled, Battle Royale is for the New Generation. The interview explores Fukasaku's insights, drawing inspiration from his wartime experiences as a teenager. He views the film as a reflection of a loss of faith in adults, and a commentary on survival, posing questions about life and death. Fukasaku emphasizes the film's message of courage and the will to live, a departure from his previous works where characters often met their demise. The article also touches on the controversy surrounding the film's premise of middle schoolers forced to kill each other. A biographical profile of Fukasaku is included, highlighting his career and influence on filmmakers like Tarantino and Wu. A screenshot showcases the film's tension with a cast including Fujiwara Tatsuya and Kuriyama Chiaki. This page advertises 2 guidebooks. First, there's the Phantasy Star Online Navigation Guide, which is already on sale. It's packed with helpful information for players, covering everything from character creation to network play, for both online and offline modes. It also includes a thorough early game guide, basic training methods, weapon and item details, enemy data and techniques. Then there's the Phantasy Star Online Perfect Guide, which is coming soon, scheduled for release in late January 2001. Below the page also advertises the seasonal Taigeki Graph Sakura magazine. This winter issue focuses on the Sakura Wars series and the Imperial Theater Review Troupe. It promises to reveal the real faces of the Imperial Capital stars with lots of gravure photos. Inside, you'll find an exclusive winter gravure section called Otaru Romantic Travelogue and City of Water, plus an article where Prince Hiroi discusses the future of Sakura Wars. This magazine is also currently on sale. This page is a survey for readers of Dreamcast Magazine, providing instructions on how to fill out the answer postcard that includes sections asking about gender, age, occupation, and magazine's read. Readers are asked their opinions on the current issue's cover and articles, both what they found interesting and uninteresting. The survey also inquires about the number of Dreamcast software titles owned, what items they desire most, including new consoles and Dreamcast-related items, and hardware they plan to purchase in the next 2 months. Finally, it asks readers to select up to 10 Dreamcast games they wish to buy in the future from a provided list. The page includes lists of hardware, featuring Dreamcast peripherals and consoles such as Dreamcast, Saturn, PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and more. It also has an extensive list of Dreamcast games, including titles such as Outrigger, Aquapanic, Ultimate Fighting Championship, Alexander the Great, The Road to Persea, Eve Zero, Illbleed, Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, NFL 2K1, NBA Hoops, Metropolis Street Racer, Eldorado Gate, Gaia Master, Concept Second, Gundam Network Battle, Close to Prey of Boy, Coming Out Party, Samba de Amigo Ver 2000, Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning, Shenmue 2, Street Fighter 03 for matching service, Sega Gaga. This page is an announcement for the Dreamcast Magazine Grand Prix 2000, a readers' poll to determine the best Dreamcast game of the year, 2000. Readers are invited to cast their votes to decide the top game from all Dreamcast titles released. The voting period is from January 6th to December 28th. The page highlights that this is the second Dreamcast Magazine Grand Prix, and voting is possible via internet and email this year. It shows images of trophies that will be awarded to the winning games, detailing that these trophies represent the top 3 overall best games, and awards for other categories. The text encourages readers to participate in choosing the best Dreamcast title of 2000. The Dreamcast Magazine Grand Prix 2000 results are presented, highlighting Best Work Award and Best Graphic Award winners. In the Best Work Award, Shenmue Chapter 1, Yokosuka won, praised for its freedom, impressive production, and quality. Soul Calibur followed, recognized for its stunning visuals and animation. J-League Pro Soccer Club Create took third, commended for its in-depth gameplay. For the Best Graphic Award, Soul Calibur topped the list for its groundbreaking polygon characters and dynamic presentation. Shenmue ranked second, lauded for its high-quality CG. Sonic Adventure secured third, celebrating Sonic's successful transition to 3D. Journalists reflected on the difficulty of selecting winners, emphasizing the importance of overall quality for the Best Work Award, and the Dreamcast's visual advancements for the Best Graphic Award. This page of Dreamcast Magazine showcases the Dreamcast Magazine Grand Prix 2000 awards for Best Scenario, Best Music, and Best Network Game. In the Best Scenario category, Shenmue Chapter 1, Yokosuka takes first place, praised for its compelling narrative. Rebirth, a game seemingly not released outside of Japan, secures second place, followed by D's Diner 2 in third. The journalist discussed the importance of scenario in games, especially in adventure and RPG genres. For Best Music, Space Channel 5 wins first place, recognized for its unique and catchy soundtrack that perfectly complements the gameplay. Shenmue Chapter 1, Yokosuka again ranks high, in second place, and Sonic Adventure is in third, highlighting its memorable and fitting music. Journalists emphasize the importance of music that enhances the game experience and creates a lasting impression. Lastly, in the Best Network Game category, Derby Owners Club claims the top spot, celebrated for its innovative online horse racing experience on the Dreamcast. Atsumare Guru Onsen, another Japan-exclusive title, is second, and Shenmue Chapter 1, Yokosuka makes its third appearance on the page in third place, noted for its unique use of the internet disk for HP connections to enhance the Shenmue world. The journalist's conversation revolves around the new possibilities of online gaming on the Dreamcast and the enjoyable network experiences it offers. This page of Dreamcast Magazine continues with the Dreamcast Magazine Grand Prix 2000 awards, now focusing on Best Character, Best License, and Best Package Art. In the Best Character category, Seaman, from the game Seaman, takes the top spot, praised for being unforgettable and impactful. Ulala, from Space Channel 5, comes in second, noted for her retro-futuristic fashion and stylish movements. Sonic from Sonic Adventure secures third place, recognized for his strong impact as Sega's mascot character. Moving to the Best License Award, Vivarium, the developers of Seaman, are in first place. Namco, known for Soul Calibur, is awarded second place. Warp, the creators of D's Diner 2, takes third place. The journalists discuss the importance of licensed companies supporting the Dreamcast. Lastly, for Best Package Art, Seaman once again wins first place, highlighting its unique and game-like design. Diner 2 is in second place, and Shenmue Chapter 1. Yokosuka comes in third, with journalists emphasizing the importance of package design as the face of a game in shops, and the need for individuality. The Dreamcast Magazine Grand Prix 2000 Awards invited readers to vote via internet, email, or postcard. The best hit news of the year was led by Shenmue, Sega's ambitious and costly project, followed by Namco's unexpected entry into the Dreamcast market, and finally, the release of Seaman Forbidden Pet. Readers could vote through a provided URL, email address, or by filling out a postcard. Prizes were offered for voters. Postcard voters could win Dreamcast-related items like telephone cards, software, and accessories, while email/internet voters were eligible for web money cards. The voting form requested personal details and selections for categories such as Best Game, Graphics, Scenario, Music, and more. This Dreamcast Magazine Grand Prix 2000 nominations list showcases the console's diverse game library. The 162 nominated titles include big names like Ready 2 Rumble Boxing, NFL 2K, Biohazard Code, Veronica, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Power Stone 2, Samba de Amigo, Jet Set Radio, Shenmue, and Phantasy Star Online. The list also features Japanese exclusives, various genres like puzzle, action, racing, and rhythm games. Notable entries are Super Magnetic Muniu, Tokyo Extreme Racer 2, and Romania No. 203. This extensive list exemplifies the Dreamcast's wide appeal and strong game selection, highlighting the reasons for its popularity. This page is an advertisement for a book called Denu Senki Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, Wall of Truth. This book is based on the popular weekly Dreamcast magazine series of the same name, a Virtual on Oratorio Tangram Enlightenment Seminar. Created by Juro Watari and Virtual On Works and Nobuyuki Ari, it is finally being released as a standalone book. It features over 200 newly created CG illustrations, extensively revised from the original magazine serialization, and includes Juro Watari's thoughts on Virtual on Oratorio Tangram. The book is a 4-size, 128 pages, all in color, and priced at 2,800 yen plus tax. As a bonus, you can download an original Wall of Truth wallpaper at GameSpot. This page is an advertisement for the official strategy guide for the Dreamcast game Tricolor Crisis. The advertisement highlights that this guide is the only strategy book you'll need for this happy RPG, and that it includes detailed character profiles, comprehensive lists of event conditions, easy-to-understand maps, and complete item and monster data. The guide is available now and priced at 1,400 yen plus tax. The next page highlights upcoming and recently released Dreamcast games. Under the heading, Delicious! Dreamcast latest information. It lists recently released titles including J-League Pro Soccer Club Wo Tsukuru 4, Guilty Gear X, Gunspike, Project Justice, which is known as Moyo Justice Gakuen 2 in Japan, Last Blade 2, Super Street Fighter 2X for matching service, Daytona USA 2001, Samba de Amigo Vershare 2000, Blue Submarine No. 6, Time and Tide, and Tricolor Crisis section. Selling soon. Dreamcast new titles. Features games anticipated for release, such as Hydro Thunder Hurricane, which is listed as Power Jet Racing 2001, Jet Set Radio known as De La Jet Set Radio here, Ultimate Fighting Championship, Gigawing 2, and Virtual on Oratorio Tangram for matching service, listed as Chao Meikyu Kihei Kaiju for matching service. The page's background features character art, and the central image appears to be from a fast-paced shooting game, potentially illustrating one of the featured titles. This page showcases Power Jet Racing 2001, which was also known as Hydro Thunder Hurricane internationally, a water bike racing game for Dreamcast. The game emphasizes the exhilarating speed and thrilling trick actions players can perform. Screenshots display jet skis speeding through waves in tropical locations, with impressive water splash effects and stunt jumps. The game is described as offering a refreshing experience, with courses set in various locations around the world, including canals and caves. It's highlighted that courses feature jump ramps to perform spectacular tricks, adding depth to the gameplay beyond just racing. The game was slated for release in Japan in March 2001, priced at 5,800 yen or 300 points, and supports 12 players. The bottom text includes a humorous comment from the developers, mentioning jumps from Niagara Falls and highlighting the game's summary, tropical setting, to contrast with the winter season. They also hint at revealing a secret mode in the next issue. This page introduces the 6 riders and their machines featured in Power Jet Racing 2001. First up is Ryan, who seems like the main character type with well-balanced stats, making him a good choice for beginners until they get used to the game. Next is Kate, described as the speedy girl type. Her speed is high, but handling is a bit weak, so she's better suited for time trials. Spike has a nihilistic and wild vibe, and while his handling is very high, other stats are less impressive. Max is the big, bald, powerful guy, seemingly a power type but actually a high-speed type, with great stability. Yuki is presented as a cute Japanese girl who, despite her looks, is a high-acceleration speed type, with great handling, making her easy to ride. Lastly, Matt, who looks like the rival character, boasts confidence in speed, acceleration, and handling. Each character has star ratings out of 5 for top speed, acceleration, handling, stability, and grip, visually representing their strengths and weaknesses. This page continues the preview of Power Jet Racing 2001 and showcases 3 of the courses in the game. The first course highlighted is Bahama, described as a resort location with white sandy beaches and blue seas. This course is designed for beginners, with gentle layouts and caves to explore. Next is Manhattan, featuring a cityscape with skyscrapers, waterways through buildings, and underground waterways for a trickier experience. Lastly, Niagara is introduced as the third course, depicting the world-famous Niagara Falls. This course emphasizes jumps and tricks, with large jump ramps placed before the falls for spectacular aerial maneuvers, leading into cave sections, and spectators watching the action. The page also details the trick system, explaining that performing tricks mid-jump is key. It mentions combos are possible starting from basic loops to barrel rolls if players achieve sufficient jump height. This page continues the coverage of Power Jet Racing 2001, focusing on the game modes available to players to hone their skills. There are 3 main modes detailed: Championship, VS mode, and Time Attack mode. The Championship mode lets you compete across all 13 courses worldwide against 6 CPU opponents. You'll participate in 2 qualifying heats, aiming to reach the finals and ultimately become champion. The difficulty increases as you progress, pushing your skills to the limit. VS mode is described as a race mode to enjoy with friends, emphasizing intense battles, skillful line selection, and trick execution to determine the victor. Time Attack mode challenges players to run on their favorite course and race against the clock to achieve the fastest time to the finish line. Discovering hidden shortcuts is key to improving your times. Performing tricks is encouraged to further reduce your overall time. Some courses have cleverly concealed shortcuts to find and utilize to your advantage. This page highlights new information about De La Jet Set Radio, known internationally as Jet Grind Radio. It announces a special version of the game set for release on January 1, 2001, emphasizing its action genre. The page suggests this is a must-play title to start the 21st century, indicating it's a significant release. Screenshots showcase gameplay, displaying in-game scores, trick counts, and a location identified as Toyuchi Sumtown, number 110. A text box encourages players to experience the game directly to understand its appeal. The page also introduces a brand new cube, describing an updated version of the cube character with a sleeveless design and a more vibrant color palette, noting an improved voice. This section is under the heading Overseas DC Affairs Extra and JSR USA Ver, suggesting information about the American version of Jet Grind Radio. There is a section discussing how Americans view Tokyo streets in the context of the game, comparing the Japanese and American versions. The package and software section describes the game's packaging as a standard design with character illustrations, mentioning the GDROM disc color is similar to the Japanese version. Images of the game box, back of the box, and disc are shown, clearly displaying the title Jet Grind Radio and the ESRB teen rating. This page continues to present Jet Grind Radio, highlighting the pre-order period ending on December 25th for a special director version. It promotes access through the D-Direct online service to secure a copy, advising players to pre-order to avoid missing out due to potential sellouts. The page introduces Rudy and Potts, noting their updated 3D appearance. It also discusses the shift to English voice acting in this version, suggesting it adds to the coolness, even if the background elements remain in Japanese. The page mentions changes to some character names for the English version, including Tab now being corn, Mew as Biss, Slate as soda, Piranha as sugar, and Captain Onishima. Finally, it advertises a special bonus for purchasing the game, an original t-shirt and deluxe packaging, emphasizing the t-shirt's cool design and the overall premium feel of the package. The next page presents Ultimate Fighting Championship for Dreamcast. This action fighting game promises to bring the excitement of real UFC, with 22 famous fighters rendered in detail, including their signature moves. The page highlights the Edit Fighter mode, where players can create their own custom UFC combatant. It introduces several fighters like current UFC heavyweight champion Kevin Randleman, Pride Grand Prix winner Mark Coleman, the Bad Boy UFC middleweight champion Tito Ortiz, and former champion Frank Shamrock, kickboxing legend Maurice Smith, known as the Reborn Kickboxing Emperor, and Japanese fighter Tsuyoshi Kosaka, nicknamed TK, are also featured. The page also mentions Boss Rutten and his famous Rutten Jump, Marco Ruas, known as the King of the Road, Guy Mezger, referred to as Iron Wall Defense, and Pedro Rizzo, a disciple of Ruas and Vale Tudo expert. The game is announced for release on January 25, 2001, and is categorized as an ACT or Action Vale Tudo genre title. Capcom expresses anticipation for players to experience the Ultimate Fighting Championship on Dreamcast and create their own edit characters. The Edit Fighter mode in the UFC game allows players to craft custom fighters. The process begins by selecting a fighting style and type, then defining basic fighter information like name and catchphrase. Training through sparring boosts core stats and unlocks new moves based on your chosen discipline. The mode encourages roster diversity, including the recreation of real-world fighters. Progression through the game unlocks more customization options. The text also highlights several real-world fighters and their specialties, like Matt Hughes' wrestling, Pat Miletich's grappling, and Chuck Liddell's striking and wrestling mix. Other fighters mentioned showcase a range of fighting styles, including striking, all-around skills, and submission techniques. This page focuses on Gigawing 2 for the Dreamcast, showcasing its 4-player mode and score attack features. The article highlights the chaotic fun of playing with 4 players simultaneously, emphasizing the intensity of the screen filled with ships and enemies. It also details the score attack mode where players aim to achieve the highest score possible on a single stage, noting that clearing certain conditions unlocks this mode. Screenshots illustrate gameplay, the character selection screen showing multiple 1P designations indicating 4 players can control characters at once, and the main menu. The game is described as a vertical scrolling shooter and was nearing its release in January 2001, priced at 5,800 yen. This page previews the playable characters and their ships in Gigawing 2, calling them the wings of the game. 5 characters are profiled. Cart equals Aishin Kakura with the Kingfisher, a slower ship with a wide-range gun, Cheryl with the high-speed Stork, utilizing guided guns, Romy equals Seneca and the Sparrow, a fast and aggressive ship, Raven with a directional guided gun, and Largo equals Geiseltan with the tricky Albatross, featuring proximity guns. The page heavily promotes the 4-player mode, highlighting it as a full shooter experience. Players can control up to 4 ships each, regardless of the number of players, offering gameplay flexibility. Screenshots showcase various stages and boss encounters, including a battleship factory, laser-based battles, a pillar-filled city, a wriggling boss, and a multi-directional warship. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Chukuki Kikan, Last Battalion, highlighting its online matching service. The game is described as a super robot, military, transformation action game, featuring robots and pilot animations. The online network mode allows players to compete against others. A new theme song by Takayuki Miyochi is also promoted, along with single-player story mode that features 10 main robots and branching storylines, including hidden characters and minigames. Screenshots show robot battles and story mode scenes. This page is an advertisement for the weekly PlayStation 2 supplement magazine from SoftBank Entertainment, highlighting new game strategies and information. It showcases upcoming games like Mobile Suit Gundam, Panzer Dragoon, Dark Cloud, Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore, and Gran Turismo 3 Aspect for PlayStation and PlayStation 2, as well as mentioning other titles such as Onimusha, Tales of Eternia, Favorite Deer, Junpaku no Yogensha. A special bonus memory card sticker is included. The page also promotes SoftBank's booth at Comic Market 59 and Manga Tricolor Crisis, along with related merchandise. Finally, it lists a range of strategy guidebooks for sale, including guides for Dreamcast titles such as Sorcery Originals, Phantasy Star Online, Mercurius Pretty, Burn, Justice High, likely Project Justice in the West, and Guilty Gear X. Other guides listed are for PlayStation, WonderSwan, and WonderSwan Color games. This page is a strategy guide focused on J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru 2, a Japanly Dreamcast release also known as Saskatsuku 2. The guide is aimed at players starting the game and managing a weak default club. It emphasizes efficient team strengthening by focusing on team training in the first year. Key training types highlighted are foundational strength training, power development, stamina building, system training, and tactical training. The guide stresses the importance of ground maintenance for training effectiveness, recommending upgrading the grass pitch to long pile turf early on. It also advises on facility upgrades, specifically the medical room and buffet, to minimize player injuries and fatigue, suggesting these be prioritized before power-up facilities. The page includes screenshots of the game interface, showcasing training menus, facility upgrades, and gameplay scenes related to player injuries. This page continues the strategy guide for J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru 2, focusing on using scouts to strengthen a weak club. The guide advises identifying weak positions within the team and leveraging scouts to find new players to fill these gaps, using the secretary's comments as a guide for identifying promising young talent. It introduces 2 players scouted using this method. Midfielder Kazuya Kimura, described as a versatile player with good passing, and goalkeeper Mitsuhide Tanakura, praised for his international-level skills and reflexes. The guide then highlights that scouts can even bring in retired J-League OB players, old boys, implying these are experienced veterans who can immediately bolster the team. It also discusses the approach to promotion to J1 League, suggesting that in Saskatsuku Special Issue, unlike previous versions, J1 promotion is significantly harder. It recommends focusing on carefully nurturing the club for the first 23 years before aiming for J1, as early promotion can have both merits and demerits. The benefits of early J1 promotion include the ability to create edit players, custom players that can be developed into high-level international stars to cover weak positions, and potential sponsor acquisition. However, the drawbacks are highlighted as club instability due to facing much stronger J1 teams prematurely, leading to potential player dissatisfaction, squad unrest, and even relegation if the team isn't ready for the top league. The page advises against rushing to J1 and emphasizes building a solid foundation first. This page continues the J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru 2 strategy guide, now comparing 3 default clubs, Asesio Set Club, Vigil Set Club, and Brandon Set Club, after 1 year of training. Each club's initial setup, player roster, tactics, and training regime are detailed. The guide presents a standardized 1-year training menu spanning 4 weeks, focusing on 442 formation, ability strengthening, stamina, and positional training. The results after a year are showcased using the Asesio Set Club as an example, noting that while defense and system initially performed well, form dropped mid-season, leading to some lost matches. The guide highlights players Asesio and Nagakuri Mitsumi as players to watch within these default clubs. The next page continues the strategy guide for J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru 2, focusing on the Vigil Set Club and Brandon Set Club after 1 year of training. For the Vigil Set Club, the initial strategy was defense-oriented. Many players got injured during training, hindering progress, but they managed to improve by mid-season. The guide highlights Oka Bunji as a player to watch, a forward with explosive growth and high decision-making. Another highlighted player is Endo Yoshikazu, a defender with unwavering confidence and strong individual technique. The team's performance after a year shows they reached J-League Division 2, finishing 7th overall. The Brandon Set Club started with a balanced team setup similar to Vigil Set Club. They experienced a series of consecutive losses initially, but eventually achieved a winning streak. Brandon is highlighted as a player to watch, a forward from England with great shooting skills. Miyatani Ryoji is another player in focus, a defender with excellent tackling abilities. After a year, the Brandon Set Club also reached J-League Division 2, finishing 9th overall. This page is a strategy guide for Guilty Gear X, focusing on techniques for beginners and explaining the GG mode. The guide mentions that this is the second installment of strategy points and covers how to use original character colors from the DC version in GG mode. It is described as point tactics for beginners of Guilty Gear X. The page explains how to unlock Testament and Dizzy with simple commands. To unlock GG mode, you need to clear Arcade mode or Survival mode. GG mode features include a 20% or more speed increase in character movement and attacks, making battles faster. Air dashes are easier, even at low heights, enabling stronger mid-air attacks. There are also additions and changes to special moves, including new and modified moves with multi-hit properties. To unlock Testament, you need to clear Arcade mode at normal difficulty or higher, regardless of rounds and time limit, or clear Survival mode reaching level 20 and defeat Golden Testament. On the title screen, press Start and Input, left, down, left, right, and Start button. To unlock Dizzy, you need to clear Arcade mode in normal difficulty or higher, with 3 or more rounds and no continues, or clear Survival mode reaching level 30 and defeat Golden Dizzy. On the title screen, press Start and Input, down, right, up, left, and Start button. This page continues the Guilty Gear X strategy guide, now focusing on unlocking more character color variations through Survival mode. It explains that by playing Survival mode, you can unlock additional character colors beyond the default options. Specifically, there are Survival colors, 3 extra colors obtained by playing the mode, and Special colors, 1 unique color. To get Survival colors, you need to play Survival mode, and then, at the character select screen, hold down specific buttons while choosing your character. For Special colors, you need to battle against a special color opponent in Survival mode and win. After that, you can select the special color by holding down 2 buttons during character select. The page then talks about the challenge of reaching level 100 in Survival mode to unlock even more turbulent character colors that are golden and come with increased abilities. The page showcases screenshots from different levels in Survival mode, featuring Baiken at level 60, Faust at level 70, Venom at level 80, Milia Rage at level 90, and Zato 1 at level 99, all of whom are depicted in golden color variations. The text also warns about the increasing difficulty of enemies as you progress through Survival mode, especially noting the boss characters at higher levels become extremely challenging, using powerful techniques and requiring strategic play to defeat. This Dreamcast Magazine guide section on Guilty Gear X focuses on defensive strategies to help players counter overwhelming offense. It highlights key defensive options beyond basic guarding. Fortress Defense, using Tension Gauge, allows for reduced guard stun, faster recovery, chip damage nullification, and pushes opponents back, creating openings. Dead Angle Attack, another tension gauge consuming counter, is reliable but shouldn't be overused. The guide stresses identifying attack patterns and using character-specific counterattacks. It also mentions the use of dust attacks for opportunities. Furthermore, the guide briefly mentions various guard cancel techniques and special defense beyond body blows, where characters have unique defensive moves like parries or armored attacks. Mastering these techniques is crucial for transitioning from defense to offense and improving overall gameplay. The core advice is to recognize openings and effectively utilize available defensive tools. This section of the Guilty Gear X guide focuses on escaping aerial pressure and understanding the counter system. It details the Ukemi recovery mechanic, allowing players to choose a direction, forward, neutral, or backward, after being launched. Following Ukemi, players can utilize double jumps, air dashes, or attacking/air guarding to further evade opponents. The guide then explains the counter system. Landing an attack during an opponent's startup frames results in a counter hit, leading to extended combos and increased damage. The guard gauge's impact on counters is also discussed, with a depleted gauge increasing counter hit vulnerability. Finally, the guide highlights the risks of crouching, emphasizing its defense against high attacks while making the player susceptible to counter hits from mid-level attacks. This Dreamcast Magazine strategy guide details the Awakening Deadly techniques in Guilty Gear X. Soul Bad Guy's Tyrant Rave is a strong pursuit move. Era. KY Kiski's Ride the Lightning interrupts guard strings. Mei's Great Yamada attack is powerful in corners. Milia Rage's Winged Mirage is an anti-air option. Axel Lowe's 1 billion barrel press is effective for anti-air or rushdown. ZATO-1's amorphous is limited, useful primarily as anti-air. Potemkin's Heavenly Potemkin Buster is a powerful command throw. Chip Zanuf's Banki Masai Shin is unpredictable. Leaf Slash is preferred. Baiken's Tatami Gaeshi Renju Santogatari deals significant damage and has invincibility. Faust's What Could This Be is a low attack. Anji Mito's Isin Ugi Sai has a small gap that can be covered by Ugi Rin. Johnny's That's My Name has fast startup and minimal recovery. Dizzy's Mujo Musorin Jin reliably deals damage, while Gensu Rappa is better for neutral situations. Venom's Dark Angel is less practical than force attacks. Testament's Nightmare Arcura applies poison. Dizzy's Imperial Ray is an easier Gatling combo alternative. This page of Dreamcast Magazine continues the Guilty Gear X Awakening Deadly Techniques Guide, now focusing on Testament and Dizzy. For Testament, the Phantom move is highlighted as excellent for initiating offense and following up Kara/attacks. Recommended combos involve transitioning from normal moves into Phantom and then EXZE. Basic beginner combos start with Crouching Light Kick into Standing Slash, Crouching Heavy Slash, Command Attack C, and then Grave. In arcade mode, the advice stresses timing for Phantom due to its slow startup, and utilizing Gatling combos into Grave with Crouching Slash and Command Attack Heavy Slash. For Dizzy, the Fish move takes center stage, praised for its versatility in combos and as a standalone powerful attack, especially after throws. Fish. Linked moves should integrate normal attacks before Fish and capitalize on the opponent's down state with Fish. Beginner combos include Dash Crouching Kick into Close Standing Slash, Standing Heavy Slash, Command Attack C, and Fish. Arcade mode CPU battle advice recommends relying on Fish and normal Standing Slash attacks. Standing Heavy Slash is effective upon opponent wake up, and Crouching Punch or Kick can initiate Gatling combos. The next page is a strategy guide for Gunspike, a shooting game where you control characters like Boletta, BB Hood. The guide starts with basic strategies. Firstly, it talks about utilizing invincibility frames effectively, specifically when using special attacks, SA, and heavy attacks, HA, and heavy shots, HS. It mentions that while invincible during these moves, you are vulnerable afterward. For recovery after being knocked down, the guide advises using directional buttons to roll and recover safely. Secondly, the guide focuses on using cancels. In Gunspike, all actions, including special attacks, SA, heavy attacks, HA, and heavy shots, HS, can be canceled. Arthur is mentioned as an exception, where HA can be canceled into HS. The basic use of cancels is from HA to HS to cover the attack's short range, and HA or HS into SA for escaping danger. Thirdly, Attack Usage Method 1 highlights attack cancels for reducing gaps in attacks and linking stronger attacks, emphasizing the large damage potential. It cautions against using attack cancels indiscriminately, as it can leave you open. Finally, Attack Usage Method 2 explains enemy types. Enemies are categorized into those that are knocked down by specific attacks and those that flinch. For the latter, repeatedly attacking is an effective tactic, allowing you to defeat certain boss enemies without them being able to retaliate. For Humanakaki-type bosses, the guide notes they often nullify flinching attacks, becoming difficult to defeat. This character analysis of Gunspike highlights the strengths and weaknesses of its 7 playable characters. Cammy excels in speed, using ranged shots, but struggles with her heavy shot and tricky special attack. Sheba leverages powerful, short-range heavy shots with high mobility. Arthur boasts overwhelming attack power but is slow and vulnerable. Nash offers balanced power with a piercing heavy shot, effective against bosses. Simone is a standard character with a piercing heavy shot, but suffers from low attack power. Boletta, BB Hood, is versatile with techniques for all ranges, high mobility, and a long invincibility special attack. Finally, Rockman, Mega Man, is an all-around hit-and-run character with versatile techniques and high speed, utilizing a multi-hit standard attack and an explosive heavy shot. This page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game Triggerheart Exelica. It details strategies for 2 stages, the Unholy Dwelling and the Occupied Town. For the Unholy Dwelling, the guide advises using long-range attacks against common enemies like blood masks, zombie dogs, and needle meats, emphasizing maintaining distance. The mid-boss, Bio Gorilla Bloody, is vulnerable to shot attacks when you keep your distance. For the boss, Bio-Monster Giant BB, the strategy is to attack its head when it roars, and then target its back, using close-range attacks during stomping moments. The occupied town stage, set in a Skullroid-occupied city, suggests prioritizing gunpod destruction among common enemies, and using circular movements to evade attacks. The mid-boss, Buggy Hayabusa, requires dodging homing missiles before using HA attacks, and utilizing Vulcanin shots. Finally, for the boss trio Rick Blue, Bob Green, and Ken Brown, the guide recommends focusing attacks on Rick Blue first with distance shots, and then tackling the remaining bosses individually once Blue is defeated. This guide provides strategies for 2 stages in Gunspike: the Abandoned Bridge and the Perished Town. The Abandoned Bridge tips include destroying gun pods early, taking out Anger robots before the gunship Delphin mid-boss, and dodging UFO Robo-Vader's attacks. For the Perished Town, set in Hong Kong, the guide advises destroying gun pods and avoiding Dragaloid kicks. It suggests taking down Dragaloids before Fallen Balrog, and prioritizing turret destruction during the Big Wheel Dragon fight. Important enemies are highlighted. For the Abandoned Bridge, its prototype soldiers, fast sword attacks, and Anger robots, high defense, bullet spread. The Perished Town emphasizes gun pods and Dragaloids, close-range bullets, kicks, along with problematic turret stands during the final boss fight. The next page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game Moero, Justice Gakuen, known internationally as Project Justice. The guide focuses on using the character Hayato and mastering his spirit knuckle technique. The page starts by emphasizing that small damage shouldn't be a concern, and then moves to unexpectedly many flinches are ignored techniques, explaining that some techniques can ignore opponents' attacks if timed correctly. However, these techniques are generally slow. The main focus is on the Spirit Knuckle move as a root counter technique. It highlights that while Gaiman, Perseverance, techniques are generally slow, Hayato's Spirit Knuckle is effective in real combat because it negates flinching immediately upon input. The guide explains how to use Spirit Knuckle to counter opponents' attacks, particularly when they are guarding Heat-Blood combos, turning defense into offense. The last section, when the opponent starts to be aware of Spirit Knuckle, discusses how to adapt when the opponent becomes wary of the Spirit Knuckle counter. It suggests that once the opponent is cautious of the Spirit Knuckle and stops using Heat-Blood combos, it creates an opening for Hayato to aggressively attack with weak strikes and initiate his own Heat-Blood combos, taking control of the match's pace. The page advises to maintain a constant offensive pressure. This page continues the strategy guide for Moero, Justice, Gakuen, also known as Project Justice. It shifts focus to the character Bowman and his special move, God Defense, explaining it's not about enduring attacks, but about evading them. Bowman's fighting style revolves around creating openings using God Defense, which can be performed forwards or backwards, allowing him to evade crouching weak attacks and standing strong attacks. This move is effective in creating space and initiating attacks, especially after guarding opponents' moves. The page then discusses Kyoko's counter techniques. It points out that while Kyoko has counter moves like Blade Stance, they are slow to activate and might miss in the heat of battle. It is mentioned that anticipating an opponent's jump attack or dash attack could be good timing for Kyoko's counter, but it requires careful reading of the opponent. The guide concludes that Kyoko's counter might be too slow for reliable use in aggressive Heat-Blood combo exchanges. Finally, there's a bonus tip about taking the opponent's back without using special moves like Spirit Knuckle. It suggests using minimal ski or openings after making the opponent guard a move to reposition and gain an advantageous position to attack. This page continues the Project Justice strategy guide, revealing hidden story elements. It focuses on unlocking 2 characters, Kuro and Hyo. Clearing the hidden story unlocks Kuro, the mastermind behind recent events, and a member of the Dark Student Council. He's described as having quirky normal moves, and his special moves like Yami Kagura, Kukan Saki, Roputsuki, and Yasha Kuruma are listed, alongside his complete combustion attack. The page then explains that completing Justice High's story unlocks Hayo, the Student Council president. He was a powerful character in the previous game and is still incredibly strong. Although he appears brainwashed by Kumuro, his true power is still there. His move list is also detailed, including moves such as Iai Giri, Jumanji Giri, Sakura Ryuzan, Gene Goku, and Tenrai Zan, along with his complete combustion attacks and team attacks. A text box emphasizes Hyo's incredible reach and attack power, making him a formidable opponent who's hard to counter, highlighting his status as a former boss character. This guide focuses on Hinata Wakaba in Project Justice, highlighting her as an easy-to-use character with an orthodox playstyle. Her combat relies on straightforward continuous attacks, often initiated with a crouching weak kick. This low attack is crucial for starting combos, with the guide listing example combo strings. Hinata's weak flame dance special move is effective for zoning, especially against crouching opponents, despite potential openings at close range. She also excels in air combat, utilizing her crouching strong punch as a reliable anti-air. Her long limbs offer a significant advantage, particularly in combos. The touch throw allows for strategic damage control, as Hinata can vary the timing of follow-up attacks based on the opponent's button mashing. Alternatively, she can use the threat of the throw to set up other attacks. This page delves into the hidden elements of The Last Blade 2 Final Edition. It reveals the awakened form of Kaid, detailing his appearance before awakening the Azure Dragon power. The page explains that his moves are mostly the same as his regular awakened form, with slight variations in visual effects, and the One-Sword Gale Wind move being usable in the air, indicating his fundamental abilities remain consistent. The guide then lists Kaid's command inputs for his special moves and super moves. These include moves like One-Sword Void Fang, One-Sword Mad Dance, and Living Heart Fuku Ryu. The page also introduces Hagur Ningyu, which translates to Stray Doll or Runaway Doll, a transformation technique for Akari. This ability temporarily changes Akari into the same appearance as her opponent and is activated by a specific button sequence and timing after selecting Akari. The page notes that visually Akari becomes the opponent, but her sword quality and fighting style remain unchanged. The article emphasizes that mastering all characters is key if you intend to use this transformation effectively. The character's voice line upon appearance is also highlighted as Osha. This page continues with The Last Blade 2 Final Edition and talks about a hidden character named Kotetsu, who is described as a joke character that appears on the character select screen but is not actually playable. The page details the command to make Kotetsu appear, explaining that after inputting the button sequence quickly within 4 seconds at the character select screen, Kotetsu will show up. The page then shifts to feature Akatsuki Musashi, a powerful swordsman in the game. It describes him as a legendary sword saint who wields 2 swords and is known for his overwhelming power. The page highlights his special moves, like Maken Senkan, Kagaribi, Jujigame, and Makuriren. His super moves are Goren Surane and Nitten Mu Soken. The page includes gameplay screenshots of Akatsuki Musashi in action, showcasing his moves and fighting style. This page continues the feature on The Last Blade 2. It introduces 3 characters from the game, each representing a distinct fighting style. First is Washizuka Keiichiro, of the Natural Rational Style Jin. He's described as a cool swordsman from the Genbu squad, specializing in close-quarters combat. His signature moves include Kogetsu Jin, Karakiri Jin, Senkoga, and Ryuga. He uses force in his attacks and has special moves like Hiensatsu and Kogetsu Jin Guren. Next is Sanada Kojiro, representing the Natural Rational Style Hayaka, the new leader of the Zero Squad. He's portrayed as burdened by the loss of comrades and driven by justice. His fighting style emphasizes continuous attacks using force and the Hayaka style. He shares some moves with Washizuka, like Kogetsu Jin and Karakiri Jin, but also has his unique Mumaiken 3-hit combo. He also utilizes a throw called Tenchi and a high-speed movement technique named Shunkan. The page notes he's easier to use than Washizuka due to his command-based techniques. Lastly, the page presents Genbu no Okina, of the True Heart style Genbu no Okina, a mysterious, bandaged old man described as a messenger from another world with an ominous presence. He fights with a massive sword, and his moves include Kamegeishi, Kameguruma, and Genbu no Hoteri. Genbu no Hoteri utilizes a large dragon scroll. He is capable of aerial attacks, and his throw is called Tengai Daisharin. His super move is Maken Nikudan. His techniques are described as having heaven, earth, human variations. This section profiles 4 characters from Last Blade 2. Lee Rekka, the monk, utilizes flying shadow kick arts with aerial attacks and kicks, including flying shadow kick and rising dragon kick. Zentetsu, a ninja, employs stealth techniques with quicksword attacks and ninjutsu, such as steel cutter and heaven demon drop, excelling in close quarters combat. Kagami Shinosuke, driven by revenge, uses the burning blade and vermilion flame, with fire-based attacks like falling flame blade. He focuses on heavy, impactful attacks. Finally, Neo Shigen fights unarmed with the crushing arm and white tiger claw style. He specializes in throws and grappling, using moves like white tiger claw and golden gang crushing. This page is dedicated to Super Street Fighter 2X for matching service on Dreamcast. It introduces two hidden factors, focusing on the character Guki, Akuma, and how to unlock him. The page details two methods for unlocking Guki. One in-game, CPU Guki appearance condition, and one for player selection, Guki selection method. The page explains Guki's fighting style, noting he has no super combos, but is powerful with special and normal moves, particularly aerial techniques like the Air Gao Hadoken. Move lists for Guki's special techniques are provided, including Gao Hadoken, Air Gao Hadoken, Gao Shoryuken, Masatsu Gao Hadoken, Tatsumaki Zanku Kyaku, and Ashura Senku. Character profiles with move lists are also presented for other fighters, Dalsim, Fei Long, Thunderhawk, and Kami. For each character, essential special moves, super combos, SC, and unique techniques are listed with their command inputs. The page briefly describes each character's fighting style. For example, Dalsim is described as having long reach attacks. Fei Long focuses on approaching attacks and utilizing feints. Thunderhawk's Condor Dive is highlighted for aerial combat, and Kami's Hooligan combination requires careful timing. Finally, a section on T-Hawk explains his Air Slasher and Jackknife Maximum techniques, emphasizing his strong normal attacks and anti-air capabilities. This page highlights that Super Street Fighter 2 characters are also selectable in Super Street Fighter 2X for matching service, explaining that you can use the older versions of characters from Super Street Fighter 2. It clarifies the differences between the Super Street Fighter 2 and Super Street Fighter 2X versions of Ryu, noting that the Super Street Fighter 2 version lacks super combos and some special moves, and has different properties for existing moves. The page then features character profiles and move lists for Bison, M. Bison, Sagat, and Balrog, Vega. For Bison, it details his normal and special moves like dash straight, dash upper, turn punch, grand dash straight, dash grand uppercut, and buffalo headbutt, and super combo crazy buffalo. For Sagat, it explains his tiger shot, grand tiger shot, tiger uppercut, tiger knee crash, and tiger genocide side, emphasizing the speed of his tiger knee crash. For Balrog, it lists his flying Barcelona attack, Izuna drop, sky high claw, backslash, short backslash, rolling crystal flash, and scarlet terror, mentioning the vulnerability of his backslash and short backslash despite their invincibility. A table is shown that provides the command inputs for selecting the Super Street Fighter 2 versions of characters for both 1P and 2P sides during character selection. This page is a guide on mastering drift driving in Daytona, USA 2001. It starts by explaining the difference between grip and drift driving, emphasizing that drift driving is faster in this game for cornering. The guide breaks down the drift process into steps, braking and steering to initiate the slide, then using the accelerator to maintain the drift angle, and finally adjusting the drift to exit the corner smoothly. It also introduces an alternative method, gear change drifting, which is presented as a technique that allows for less speed reduction compared to braking. The page then provides a machine check, detailing 4 car types: Hornet, Grasshopper, Lightning, and Explorer. The Hornet is described as beginner-friendly, with average performance and good handling. The Grasshopper is for players who prioritize balance, offering stable handling and enjoyment of drifting with medium-hard tires. The Lightning is for those who prefer stability and grip, not recommended for drifting, and is better suited for high-speed courses. The Explorer is also not geared towards drifting, focusing on grip and high-speed stability. The page concludes that players who want to drift should choose cars with medium-hard or harder tires. This guide provides tips to improve your Daytona USA 2001 gameplay. The rocket start technique involves revving the engine while braking before the race begins. then immediately accelerating at the green light for a speed boost. Utilize slipstream by driving closely behind other cars to increase your top speed. Other tips include stopping the slot machine archway on the 777 Speedway course with the A button, and finding a hidden tunnel on the middle course by driving in reverse. The Falcon car is stable and moderately fast, while the Lightning is the fastest, though harder to control. The next issue will offer in-depth course strategy guides. Samba de Amigo Ver 2000, a rhythm action game for Dreamcast developed by Sonic Team, features a notoriously difficult hidden challenge mode, with only one person on the development team successfully completing it. This mode includes challenges like the Hidden Maraca Idol and Hidden Maraca Star, requiring players to clear specific songs, such as El Ritmo Tropical and Sway, on hard or super hard difficulties. An interview with director Nakamura and planner Aita reveals the team's approach to song selection, which involved extensive listening to Latin music. They also discussed the challenges of charting such a large number of songs, including the charting of hustle mode. 3 tips are presented. Focusing on Sonic Team original songs, the inclusion of 2 previously unrecorded songs thanks to overseas versions, and the selection criteria for songs based on rhythm. This version includes 43 songs, a significant amount for the game. Samba de Amigo Ver 2000 will release downloadable songs weekly, starting December 14, 2000. The initial releases include tracks from Sonic Adventure and Sonic R. Subsequent weeks feature songs from Daytona USA, Outrun, Afterburner, Nights, Sonic CD, Jet Set Radio, Rent a Hero No. 1, Burning Rangers, and Fantasy Zone. Developer comments highlight the minigame's picture book aesthetic and the prominent use of maracas and vocals in Vamos a Carnaval. DJOBA was a challenging song to create. The tips section emphasizes DJOBA's difficulty due to its unique tempo. The energetic monkeys were chosen as the game's protagonists. Many songs are upbeat, with the JS Red Daytona song recommended. The next page focuses on strategy information for Blue Submarine No. 6, Time and Tide, an adventure game on Dreamcast. This page unveils 3 key strategy points, starting with Sealy customization techniques. It explains that as you progress, missions become more challenging, requiring specific customizations for your Sealy submarine. 3 recommended customization patterns are introduced. Deep Sea Work Specification, focusing on durability for deep dives. Speed Specification, emphasizing speed and agility. And Long Duration Specification, designed for extended operations. Each specification lists recommended equipment like bumpers, engines, and sonar. The second part details the shortest strategy route, a step-by-step guide to quickly clear the game. It begins with initial tasks like visiting the church and Malaki's house, progressing through guild requests, bar encounters, and eventually leading to western regions and more guild quests. This route suggests a sequence of actions to efficiently navigate the game's storyline. This section details 10 salvage requests in Blue Submarine No. 6. The East Guild offers requests for Millennium Wine, Jade Area, Diamond Ore, Jade, Dangerous, Mystery Shadow, Jade, Observe Giant Stingrays, and Large Light Recovery, White Jade, Strong Currents. Spring Jade requests include the Vishnu Image, White Jade, Fast Equipment Needed, and Plathman Statue, Yellow Jade, Shallow. The West Guild offers Motor Recovery, Elephant Tusk, Earthquake Warnings, Cargo Recovery, Elephant Tusk B1F, Use VR Sonar, Kesserin, Blue Jade, Fight a Boss with Torpedoes, and Super Heavyweight Salvage, Elephant Tusk, Use the Flying Bombardier Hirams. Each request specifies license fees, rewards, estimated locations, and specific instructions or warnings. Area maps are provided for the different zones to guide players to each objective. This page is a guide for the RPG Tricolore Crissy, detailing the final dungeon, Aluk Sharul Castle. It explains the story context, where the heroes confront the final boss, and introduces characters Renia, Meli, and Stam. The guide outlines event triggers within the castle, particularly focusing on interactions with Aluk and Sharul. It describes a progression chart for events before entering the castle, such as Aluk Sharul Battle Tactics, Greeting the 6 Pillars, and Towards Aluk Sharul Castle. The page features a map of the ground layer of Aluk Sharul Castle, dividing it into areas like Left Wing, Central, and Right Wing, suggesting a multipath dungeon structure. The guide hints at puzzle elements and strategic choices in navigating the dungeon. This guide details the Aluk-Sharul Castle infiltration phase of the Tricolore Crisi strategy. It outlines an event chart triggered by exploration, starting with the characters being separated. Key events include Rinia's warning, Stam appears 1, conversation with Stam 1, and Meli's help. Talking to Stam multiple times is important for unlocking all event variations and influencing later events. The boss battle against Hasurugu occurs at location J on the map. The guide provides maps for the sky and heaven layers, accessible from the ground layer, with key locations marked. Players should utilize floating stones in the heaven layer to switch characters and watch out for strong common enemies. This guide details the post-reunion events in Aluk-Sharul Castle. The progression route guides players from the Flying Heaven Gathering Place through Deathly Expanse, Life Expanse, Slashing Gate, and finally to the King's Chamber. Combat tips emphasize strengthening physical attacks due to numerous magic users, while avoiding over-leveling. The guide focuses on 3 key encounters. A. Deathly Expanse. Battle against Rinia or Stam, depending on prior choices. B. Life Expanse. Battle against Labind. C. King's Chamber. Battle against Rashand. The guide provides maps and boss strategies. Rinia is a magic-using attacker, requiring combination arts. Stam summons servants and uses both physical and magical attacks. Rashand has high attack power but low defense, making direct and combination arts attacks effective. This page is a strategy guide focused on the final battle against Aluk-Sharul in the game Tricolore Crisis. It recommends using Janice as the playable character, highlighting her speed and attack power. The guide advises utilizing Arya and Douglas's linkage attacks, which deal significant damage over time, and to constantly use full recovery items during the fight. It also points out that rare monsters in Aluk-Sharul Castle drop items needed to create the Festina item. There's a tip to speak to Marie before the final battle to get item replenishment, similar to the Granada troop command. The guide mentions that dialogue changes depending on the character you control, with longer conversations when playing as Janice. Finally, it notes that Rysnea will appear as an enemy during the Aluk-Sharul battle, especially if Stam wasn't encountered earlier. This text details unlocked conditions and hidden content in several Dreamcast games. In Power Smash, Virtua Tennis, you unlock the master character by winning 5 arcade matches without losing a game on normal difficulty or higher. Clearing the World Tour unlocks King. The answer serve technique involves hitting down and a button simultaneously. Hiddenware is unlocked in Virtua Tennis by achieving specific scores or completing training exercises like Return Ace and others. Dream Passport 3 Experience Version Connection allows access to time-limited demos via an online connection and a specific URL, enabling play of demos for games like Guru Guru Onsen, Ghouls and Ghosts, Daima Kaimura, and others. Lastly, setting the Dreamcast date to December 24th and playing Sonic Shuffle's story mode unlocks Nights from Sonic Shuffle as a Christmas-themed event. This page reveals hidden content in several Dreamcast games. In Silent Scope, players can unlock No Enemy Mark mode, hold R, press start 4 times, and Night Vision mode, hold R, press start 5 times, in arcade mode. F355 Challenge features a hidden movie, accessible by inserting the game disc and visiting the F355 Challenge, the official website. This pre-release concept movie is over 4 minutes long. Mobile Suit Gundam, Girin's Ambition, has a Char vs Char scenario. To unlock it, meet specific in-game conditions in Scenario 2, including Garma Zabi's death, no AEUG defeat, and Char's ability at A or higher after turn 50. This scenario includes unique content for Char. Finally, the page also includes a section for reader submissions of Dreamcast secrets, with prizes offered for quality contributions. This page is focused on Doriuma, which is presented as Dabituku Horse Racing News. The article announces the return of Dabituku for enthusiasts, emphasizing its deep and engaging gameplay that appeals to adults. It's described as a new standard in horse racing games, where players become horse owners, breeding and training horses for races. The game emphasizes realistic horse racing simulation. The page also highlights the Doriuma website, mentioning it's popular and being updated. 3 forecasters are featured: producer Mia-chan, director Piku Nakamura, and writer Responsible K, offering their trend analysis and predictions. Screenshots of the game interface, horse details, Race results and character portraits are shown to illustrate the game. The page seems to be introducing the game and its features, while showcasing the opinions of these personalities involved in or around the game. This page features an exclusive interview with jockey Ryuji Wada, focusing on the concept of flow in horse racing. The interview, titled "The Flow of Victory," reveals Wada's philosophy, emphasizing minimizing mistakes over solely pursuing wins. He discusses his training, his partnership with TM Opera O, and the associated pressure. Wada's calm public persona contrasts with his intense focus. A profile notes his career achievements, including over 40 wins in 2001. The page also includes a Doriyuma horse racing game prediction section, with forecasts from 3 personalities: Piku Nakamura, Miyachan, and Responsible K. They offer predictions for an upcoming race featuring horses like TM Opera O, Stay Gold, and Narita Top Road, presented in a light-hearted manner. The page incorporates game screenshots and concludes with information about a related TV broadcast. This page continues the feature on jockey Ryuji Wada, presenting 2 Q&A sections. In the first, Wada mentions that jockey Okabe was his idol during his debut, admiring his focus and passion. However, he now aims to surpass imitation and views all jockeys as rivals. In the second Q&A, Wada highlights 2 3-year-old horses he's anticipating: TM Southpaw and Tenzin Desert, praising TM Southpaw's smooth yet powerful running style and anticipating future development for both horses in classic races. The page also details TM Opera O's consistent performance and winning streak in major races throughout 2000. Emphasizing his ability to avoid mistakes, contributing to his strong record in G2 and GI races, making him a fan favorite, and even sparking discussions about potential rivalries. A timeline showcases TM Opera O's 2000 race victories, listing events like the Kyoto Kinnan, G2, Hanshin Daishoten, G2, Tenno-sho, Spring GI, Japan Cup, GI, Tenno-sho, Autumn GI, Kyoto Daishoten, G2, and Takarazuka Kinnan, GI, briefly describing each race's significance or outcome, such as the Japan Cup win against international contenders and the Takarazuka Kinnan victory against Grass Wonder. Jockey Ryuji Wada discusses his preference for the glamour of being a jockey and the unpredictable nature of horse racing, even humorously acknowledging the difficulty of betting. The Doriyuma HP website, a newly revamped horse racing information and prediction platform, is promoted, catering to both beginners and experienced players, with content from Wada and a trainer. Wada also encourages readers to experience real-life horse racing, despite his enjoyment of video games. A giveaway of signed papers by Wada is announced. Upcoming website content includes more interviews, featuring popular jockeys and potentially game industry personalities, and the development of the horse racing prediction section. The website's URL is provided. This page is a guide for Marionette Handler 2, focusing on sub-weapons and close-quarters combat. It advises players to consider attack range and timing when choosing sub-weapons in close combat scenarios, especially when using laser swords, which can change attack patterns. The page features a section on sub-weapon selection tips and a rescue question box addressing player queries. A table details various sub-weapons like Power Knuckle, Shining Knuckle, Stun Knuckle, Battle Blade, Heat Knife, Electric Stick, Folding Spear, Laser Sword, and Electric Lance, listing their stats such as attack power, range, width, attack start time, power consumption, and weight. Another table shows recommended marionette types and their attack times for different attacks using weapons like Storm Gunner, Shield Gunner, Valkyrie, Doll, Sniper, Grips, and White Hopper. The rescue question box answers a question about the deluxe pack sold in shops, explaining it's a high-quality pack containing top-grade parts and rare items not typically found in stores, especially beneficial for players with lower ranks, mentioning that it is only available if your rank is high enough. The page details a soaring crane ground attack program for Marionette Handler 2, designed to attack enemies from the air. The program's logic is divided into 7 parts: starting, ascending, maintaining altitude and speed, managing energy, attacking, melee or wave mains depending on distance, ground melee combat when ammo is depleted, and rotation actions to target enemies. The Marks broadcasting station features reader comments. A reader praised the Navichan illustration and received a response confirming Navichan's mascot status. Another inquired about Navichan's cat companion, Otegarin Kosan area. The Handler community section discusses rumors about a hidden marionette, Nabichan, which the developer playfully denies. Other readers praised the artwork, with the developer agreeing with the stoic feel. A reader from Drill magazine Hiroba complimented the Uni More Navi illustrations, receiving thanks from the developer. This page is dedicated to Treasure Strike, an action-adventure game for Dreamcast, released on February 17th. It's priced at 5,800 yen and supports 14 players. The page highlights the results of the second Best Dresser contest for Treasure Strike characters. Reader-submitted designs are shown with themes like Wakaba-chan's theme, and descriptions focusing on character appearance, like red hair, sexy body, and cute outfits. Character file number 4 introduces Mr. Tsuka Tsukasa, the owner of a tooler's shop in the game, giving his stats such as height, age, and birthday, along with developer commentary on the character design and role. The Reader's Gallery showcases fan-submitted color illustrations from various prefectures of Japan, featuring different character interpretations and art styles related to Treasure Strike. Finally, the New Arms Planning Room section discusses gathering ideas from players for new arms or equipment for a potential Treasure Strike 2, suggesting that a sequel might be in development and looking for player input. This page continues the Best Dresser contest for Treasure Strike. It highlights the first-round qualifiers for the second contest, showcasing player-submitted character designs within the game. The page presents 27 different designs, numbered from 1 to 27, each with a name and an in-game screenshot of the character within Treasure Strike. It mentions that readers can vote by postcard or email, and that prizes are available for both voters and contest winners. The voting deadline is mentioned as around December 25th. This page is all about New Year events in the Dreamcast game Guru Guru Onsen, also known as Net Hot Springs. It announces the 2001 New Year Shogi Tournament, taking place in the game from January 4th to 8th, with details on rules and prizes. There's also promotion for the Dreamaga Hot Springs Association, encouraging players to join for more fun in Guru Guru Onsen, with membership applications open until January 9th. Additionally, the page highlights a New Year's countdown event within Net Hot Springs, held at the in-game Hot Springs Large Bath on the 4th floor at 11:45 p.m. on December 31st, suggesting even Hot Springs office worker characters will be participating. Screenshots show in-game characters and dialogue from the countdown event, mentioning name tags as rewards. Featured characters include Shadow Boss Ukiki, Safety, Hot Springs Boss O'Hara, and R7 Mirin. The next page is an official fan site update for Grandia 2. It announces the overseas release of Grandia 2 in North America and Europe in December 2001. The page includes screenshots of the English version of Grandia 2, highlighting the English user interface. It promotes a Millennia figure kit that will be available at the Comic Market 69 event. The page also features character introductions, with comments for Arisa, Teo, Rumayan, and Hikaru Moriyama related to the game, and fan submissions to the Grandia 2 Win newsletter within Dreamcast Magazine. This page is a special feature from the Imperial Capital Journal, celebrating Raini's birthday. It's a collection of fan-submitted illustrations of Raini in various styles and settings, contributed by fans from different prefectures in Japan. Contributors include Rindu-san from Hokkaido, Komura Hito-san from Kyoto, Hitomi Yumiko-san from Ibaraki Prefecture, Osei-san from Yamaguchi Prefecture, Ayumunosuke-san from Gifu Prefecture, Toji-san from Aichi Prefecture, Sayurin from Gifu Prefecture, Hideaki Hayashi from Gifu Prefecture, Hamada Ichinori-san from Shimane Prefecture, and Tsuki Shimaki from Tokyo. The page also features a fierce ranking table, listing popular characters from the Sakura Wars series, showing their ranking, name, and birthday. Characters listed include Suomeyer, Sakura, Kana, Raini, Maria, Iris, Ogami, Kome, Erika, Hanabi, Tsubaki, Kokoriko, Glycine, Lobelia, and Kaede. The text mentions that Kana's popularity increased significantly, and Raini is also doing well in the rankings. It seems to be a snapshot of character popularity within the Sakura Wars fan community at the time. This page is a guide for the Dreamcast game Treasure of the Genome, focusing on battle deck strategies to achieve high rankings and tournament success. It explains that deck strength is dynamic and depends on current trends and situations. The guide emphasizes choosing locations with abundant gathering points and understanding item rarity to improve your battle rank, suggesting locations with near 100% battle encounter rates are key. It advises players to adjust their deck and location if their rank isn't improving, especially if encountering unfavorable opponent decks. The page highlights the importance of adapting to quest trends and considering event decks when building your own. It details different deck types, balance, speed, and all-around, showcasing example card setups for each. The guide also offers tournament tips, noting tournaments are one-shot matches and encourage trying out different decks. A table shows battle point adjustments based on rank and win/loss scenarios, emphasizing that higher ranks yield greater point gains for wins, but also steeper point losses for defeats. This page is dedicated to the Dreamcast game, Sega, slated for release in Japan in March 2001, which is described as a business simulation. It reveals some top-secret information about Project Sega, and hints that Sega's internal workings are surprisingly intricate. The page showcases the Sega headquarters building, a towering 512-meter structure with 128 floors above ground and 16 below, constructed during the Dreamcast's global expansion and acting as a symbol of Sega's game development prowess. Apparently, its robust outer walls can even withstand missile attacks. Inside, the building houses departments like the hardware manufacturing department, churning out 100,000 Dreamcast units every day, and the software manufacturing department where games are meticulously handcrafted, GDROMs, burned by skilled artisans using far-infrared lasers with rare charcoal. The Sega Battle Conference Room section explains that players are selected for Project Sega and given the mission to dominate the game industry, posing the question of whether they can endure the pressure. Lastly, the Industry Monster Picture Book introduces enemy characters. These include Riteku, a designer with a perpetually unmotivated expression, known for saying, "Please leave me alone." Mo, obsessed with the game industry and attractive women. And Assembly Wizard, a programmer who frequents development areas, boasting superhuman programming skills that make him difficult to communicate with. This page details the development of Project Sega and potential game titles. It explores remakes of classic Sega games like Alex Kidd in Miracle World and Space Harrier 2, along with various software ideas spanning multiple genres and consoles, including Doki Doki Penguin Land, Tetris, and Virtua Fighter 3. Readers are encouraged to submit game ideas to Sega. The page also focuses on Derby Owners Club 2000 version 2, outlining updates. These include an event mode for participating in specific races and earning points, new horse breeds, and game balance adjustments for a refined experience. The game offers 13 diverse modes, including various race types like GI mode and handicap races, providing a comprehensive horse racing experience. Kraken DJ, a Japan-exclusive Dreamcast rhythm game, features several hidden functions. Stage 1's lesson tune transforms into a game-over-inducing secret tune via crossfader maneuvers. Clearing Stage 3 with a difficulty score of 24+ unlocks Sega game remixes, including Splashwave. Holding start and muting the crossfader activates VJ mode 4 times and DJ mode 8 times, changing visuals. Speed-up modes, Speeded Up Ver and Super Speeded Up Ver, dramatically increase song speed, requiring crossfader input and turntable rotations. Finally, the All Song Select feature, granting access to all songs, is unlocked via the same crossfader sequence as the speed-up mode. This page is from the Mail Magazine section, and it's all about reader contributions. There are messages from readers named Subaru, Satoshi, Seiji, Masaya, and Shinobu, along with a message from a dropout. These seem to be messages related to a competition or event, with mentions of supporters and feelings of gratitude or regret. Then, there's a section called Jet Girls Zoo Ho Kunik, which is clearly referencing Jet Set Radio, and features characters discussing Christmas and Santa Claus in a fun, lighthearted way. They talk about gifts, whether they believe in Santa, and what they would do if they won the lottery. Next is this week's CDSR Information Bureau, introducing Sojiro, the messenger. This section seems to be an update about the Countdown Sound Rush, or CDSR project, indicating Sojiro has arrived, and further details will be on their website. Finally, there's a mail and letter address section providing details on how readers can send in their mail and letters to the magazine, including both physical mail and email addresses, for various sections like Mechama Magazine and Berry 4 Consultation Room. Sega's 2000 Christmas and New Year prize promotion, 21st Century Sega Prizes, features recommended items curated by Take-chan. The must-have prizes, spanning from January to June 2001, include figure keychains, kitchen chains, hand straps, Sakura Wars, 3 plush toys, Detective Tsukino plush toys, Kobuta Collection plush toys, and a SUZUSEA hug pillow. Year-end prizes include Super Jumbo plush toys, chocolate bears, and a variety of gift options. Tama and Friends knitted dolls, Morinaga Chocoball plush toys, Millennium plate clock, Gigan plush toys, and penguin-themed tableware. A giveaway, Take Chan's Big Present, offers a chance to win one of 4 prizes, listed on the page, by postcard entry, due December 29th. Entrants must include personal details and a Dreamcast game idea. A December to January prize list showcases additional items like Anpanman plush toys, Kobuta collection items, and Doraemon accessories. This page is dedicated to Disney prizes, emphasized as being forever cute. It features a range of Disney merchandise, including Super Jumbo, Mickey and Minnie plush toys in various styles, alongside Fleece winter goods, and Super Jumbo Western plush toys, featuring Winnie the Pooh. A Disney prize list for December to January is provided, outlining available prizes such as Winnie the Pooh winter plush toys and keychains, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and Toy Story figure kits, Mickey and Minnie themed items, and New Year themed keychains. Additionally, the page includes a comic strip where a girl and a balloon character discuss the 21st century and express excitement about upcoming New Century Evangelion merchandise. They specifically mentioned Evangelion plush toys debuting in January, and keychain figures, including special versions of Rei and Asuka, arriving in February. The page also features Koni and Taka-chan's Flower Garden Volume 20, which is likely a recurring column in the magazine. This page introduces Namiko Yoneda, who is described as a pure angel with radiant skin. She was selected from 3,000 people in a CF contest and is active as an image girl. The page mentions she won a Grand Prix in the Hikabika Face Contest for P&G's Clearasil commercial and is the first-generation image girl for the New Energy Foundation. Her profile details include her name, birthday as March 22, 1982, age 18, birthplace Ishikawa Prefecture, blood type O, measurements, hobbies like human observation and skiing, and skills in skiing, calligraphy, and abacus. Her website is also listed. In this feature, Pure Angel, Yoneda Namiko shares a Christmas message, expressing a slight loneliness as she spends the holiday with family instead of friends. She enjoys cooking, particularly hotcakes, and seeks a husband who also enjoys cooking. She dreams of visiting Disneyland with a boyfriend, Yoan. Yoneda is running a Christmas present campaign with signed items as prizes, requiring a postcard entry by January 12, 2001. The article also discusses her role as a pure energy angel, promoting the New Energy Foundation and its naturally gentle energy sources, highlighting upcoming events. Her flawless skin, attributed to a Clearasil commercial, and acting aspirations are also mentioned, with a focus on her goal to succeed in short dramas, and her acting is her biggest dream. The feature concludes with teasers for upcoming content, including pamphlets and the next Dream-a-Girl feature, Yuri Eisen. This page showcases the Guru Clip-chan manga, specifically episode 28, titled The Hell's Insurance Salesman Arc. It introduces the main characters of the comic. Guru is a first-year middle school student who aspires to be a scientist and enjoys creating creatures. He has 2 personalities. Rabbit is a rabbit-like creature made of gel-like cells, described as intelligent and sensible. Okinawa-sensei is the social studies teacher and class representative, nicknamed Hell's Insurance Salesman, who is knowledgeable about occult and magic. Ayase-kun is Guru's classmate, a mecha fanatic who loves shiny, smooth objects. The Devil is Okinawa-sensei's demon pet, described as a guardian that brings happiness but is ultimately useless. Nana is simply described as cute. The comic strip depicts Okinawa-sensei presenting his demon pet to Guru and other students in what seems to be a classroom. The conversation focuses on the demon being a pet and a guardian, with the characters highlighting its apparent uselessness despite its supposed protective nature, and ultimately finding it cute. The weekly Dreamcastrology horoscope covers December 22nd to January 3rd with a Christmas greeting. Each sign, Aries to Pisces, has a fortune for boys and girls, a lucky color, and a lucky item. Examples include Aries, purple, muffler, Taurus, indigo, plate, and Capricorn, orange, leather bag. The weekly lucky person section focuses on those born December 24th, whose lucky game is Sakura Wars 2, and lucky character is Rini. These individuals are advised to be mindful of their behavior, as they will be the center of attention this week. The next page is an advertisement for reader prizes from Dreamcast Magazine. There are several prize categories, including a Sonic letter set for 3 people, Dreamcast-compatible software of your choice for 15 people from games released by January 5, 2001, an original name card case for 10 people, a Samba de Amigo keychain figure set for 5 people, a DECKDS wristwatch for 2 people, an original t-shirt for 10 people, and a Dreamcast Magazine October Best back cover telecard featuring Eternal Arcadia for 25 people. The page also previews the upcoming issue of Dreamcast Magazine, dated January 19, 26th, and the January 4, 2001 issue. It highlights features like Shenmue 2, Illbleed, and mentions Gundam Network Battle, as well as scoops on Eldrad Sword and Cybertroopers Virtual On-Force. It also advertises Network Club activities and a feature on Detective Jinguji Saburo Dash. The bottom of the page lists staff credits and contact information, as well as the winners of previous prize draws and the Dreamcast Magazine website address. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Tokyo Bus NI, also known as Tokyo Bus Guide. This special edition, the beautiful bus guide accompanying pack, celebrates the game's first anniversary and is limited to 10,000 copies. Priced at 5,800 yen, this simulation lets you become a Tokyo bus driver with a beautiful bus guide assisting you, even for beginners. The page showcases in-game screenshots, the game box, and also highlights an arcade cabinet version of the game. This page is an advertisement for the fantasy adventure game Angel Present. It highlights a release date of February 22, 2001. The advert also promotes a special event called Happy Together, Volume 1, taking place on December 28, 2000, at the Ibisu East Gallery, featuring voice actors and original merchandise, with advance tickets priced at 2,100 yen and same-day tickets at 2,500 yen. The page includes a map to the event location.